Going live any moment. You're live. Okay. The timer hasn't come up on the screen, so I'm thinking, oh yeah, 4 seconds in. Blimey, got one person watching already. Shit, that was fast. Who's the one person watching? If you were to write a message, I'll shout you out. It's very fast. You must have had your finger right over the buzzer. Oh, it's just Jenna. Hello. Well, you are a fast one today. I was only on there 4 seconds before you came on. Yeah, actually, this was a bit of a strange one. Oh, and Sweep Sings is in the house. Hello. It's because this is a very early one. Normally, like in the evening, that I do my. Oh, you're welcome for the shout out, just Jenna. Yeah, it was. Yeah, no, it was. Because I'm. I like to include the viewers, whatever, But I know, because the thing is, I've had my name called out a long time ago, on people's thing, and it's a nice shocker, to get. Anyway, Paul Villis, hi Mark. I'm on my lunch break at work. There you go. I made it just in time then. Anyway, I don't know how long I'll be here. I'll probably be way beyond your lunch break, but you better catch it later. Just Jenna, defo wrap next time with salad, yummy. Indeed, yeah. Well, the thing is, yeah, that was it. Yeah, because I used your suggestion with the peri, but on a different meal. But it tasted good, So yeah, I probably will use it in a wrap. I'll just have to get some more some of that peri sauce. GRT Mickey. How's tricks? Yeah, very good. Thank you. I've got a lot more time on my hands recently, so I thought I'd do an afternoon live stream. I'm looking at the clock over here. It's 15, 16, 17, 18 past 1, which is very early because normally I do it like 7 in the evening onwards. But yeah, actually, later on, for those who saw the thumbnail, I've got a question about this video later on. If worst comes to the worst, I've got nothing else to talk about, I'll switch to that, and I've got a question or two on that film. But no, I tell you, I've been watching the YouTube videos on English and American news channels to try to keep a handle on what's going on in the world. And I tell you, it is amazing. Excuse me. It's just a throat, nothing major. I'm not dying or anything. But it's amazing watching the bullshit that goes on in the world. I tell you, just when you think you've seen it all, because I made a few notes here. I wrote that. And this was like yesterday or the day before I wrote that. And I was going to talk about how insane that is, that given what's going on in the world, that churches, this one happens to be in America. Does anybody go to church? Any of the viewers go to church in this country? Are they still having Sunday service and shit? I would hope not. But and I wrote that down because I thought, how mad is that to actually keep on having a Sunday service, given that people are supposed to keep a 6-foot distance, and you're encouraging them to get together. Anyway, that was about a couple of days ago. Since then, I saw today on a channel. Oh no, just Jenna's not a Bible person. No. Today I was on this same church. I think that I don't know where it was, but it was in America somewhere, one of the states. That what they do, they got the camera on this guy, this preacher, and he was saying, laying on the hands will cure this disease, for the people who believe in Jesus. And luckily, he's got himself arrested. Fucking the police went round there, hold him to jail like a dumb shit that he, But it got me thinking. The old there's an expression, only in America. I mean, is that true in this case? Is that the only place that this stupid fucking shit is happening? Whereas the preacher will stand up and say, laying on the hands will cure the virus from all you people. Don't be worrying. And he's got like 200-300 people in his church. I mean, the thing's packed out. Andy Smith is in the house. Hello. Oh, and Pablo Mancini. Hello to you too. Sweep Singh's sister lives opposite a church. The big sign on the door saying no services. Yeah, well, that's the way it should be. But it's amazing, you know. And this guy, yeah, like I say, luckily got, hauled off to jail. Hopefully, he's going to do some time. You know, I really hope this person does. They make an example out of this guy. But one of these truck stop churches, stupid shit like that, and they're in a little trailer. They've got a snake, and they're fucking around with a rattlesnake, saying how Jesus is going to stop, help them not die from it. And they end up getting bit and die, and they get rushed off the hospital or end up dying over it. How people believe that rubbish is a mystery to me. But this guy had 200 or 300 followers on a Sunday in the middle of a worldwide virus epidemic, but he had them following him. But then, you'll find, with cults, you'll find that no matter how wacky the bullshit is that they're selling, somebody's still buying. It's something, it doesn't even have to make sense. They just have to say it and people believe it. Anyway, this guy's thinking that laying on the hands is going to fix the problem, which, of course, any sane person will, know otherwise. But anyway, so he got arrested, and it'd be interesting to see what happens to him, because some countries, I should have made a note of this, but I've been watching the different news channels, and I want to say Canada. I don't know. So somebody correct me if I'm wrong. I've got it in my head as Canada, but I could be wrong. But certain people are getting fines and threatened with prison if they're caught without a good reason for being out on the street, which is kind of a good and bad idea. I mean, martial law isn't normally a good thing. But on the other hand, if that's the only way you're going to get people to see sex, and because people don't seem to have the ability to look at the greater good. It's all self. Fuck the next guy. I'm not interested. It's all about me, And if they can't be bothered, or they don't have the sense to be looking at the big picture, then yeah, they need to go to jail, And actually, it'd be interesting to see what the jails are doing. The prisons. I mean, they'll be on, 24-hour lockdown, surely. For months on end. Man, let's see. Jenna asked, have I cracked open the vodka? No, it's a little bit early for me. I've actually, on my days off, I've actually gone to the pub in the past or drank during the day, and that's it. And then I end up falling asleep, and it's, the whole day's gone. Not that I'm doing, although I could be doing with getting drunk and going to sleep during the day. Got fuck all else to be doing, trying to stay out of the virus's way. But no, it's a little bit early for me. I'm on the I'm just on the H2O. If worst comes to the worst, I might put some blackcurrant and apple and blackcurrant in there. But yeah, but the thing is that's the only way. I mean, the thing is, I'm surprised. I mean, the thing from what I can see. I mean, they seem to have. I mean, they got the usual police roaming the streets, collaring people and roadblocks and all this lot, because people are still trying to get from one city to another, whether they need to or not, by the looks of it. The amount of moaning that people are doing as well. It's a foreign thing that seems to be the news that are really hyping up the drama in these situations. I'm not saying it's not bad, but any chance that the news, especially the CNN, the American type news, they seem to ramp it up a little bit, which is kind of obvious when you know that they're crawling for they're scraping around for viewers because they're getting paid through advertisement. Which is one argument for the TV license, which I don't particularly agree with, But when they're looking for viewers, they've got to amp up the stress level and the anxiety level. And what they've got people crying down. That they're health workers. They're crying because they can't leave the hospital to go home and play with their 5-year-old kid. They've got to stay in a hotel or B&B or whatever the hell else, Airbnb, and they can't be around their children. I mean, they'll fucking live. It's not like you need. If they don't see you, if they don't have physical contact with you for a few weeks or months, then they're not going to be ever the worse for it. But you've got pictures of one medical guy. He's at his house. I shouldn't laugh, but he's in the garden of his house. He's come home for a quick visit. He's got his hand up against the patio window, and his little 2-year-old kid has got his hand on the other side of the glass. They took a photograph specifically for the news to make a bit of to get people sobbing and feeling sorry for him. But on the one hand, I'm not saying that it is a bad situation, but when they ham it up with this bullshit of how hard it must be for the dad who can't play with his kids for a short time, it's like, get over it. The kid's not going to fucking the kid's seeing you through the glass. He's not going to be totally traumatized because he doesn't see you for a couple of months anyway. But that's the kind of shit that I've been watching on the TV. David Brooks, he got a notification for my TV, for my live channel. That's strange. I didn't put one on because I can't seem to work it out how to put it on. The notification. Just Jenna, I don't understand how Jesus fed 5,000 people with a fish and half a loaf of bread. I know. Well, the thing is, what I try to explain to some people who, they ask me, places at work, oh, do you believe in God? They get right offended when I laugh at them. I say, no, I don't fucking, what are you, stupid? And I try to explain to them, the Bible was written long to 100 plus years after the fact. This guy, Jesus, may have lived. Let's assume, for example, that he lived. Right? Assuming he lived, he wasn't responsible for magical powers like that guy, I don't know, Paul Daniels, for anybody who's in England or anything. He hasn't got magical fucking powers like this. He can cure the blind. He can cure all kinds of diseases, cripples and whatnot. No, at best, right, he may have existed. He may have had access. He may have had access to relatively unknown medical procedures. For example, the eye business. The story is he rubbed mud into some blind guy's eyes. Suddenly he was cured. You start putting that Chinese whispers down by 100 generations, it's going to get all twisted round. He may have done something very simple little procedure that he may have done, which got translated into he cured a blind man. Feeding the 5,000 with the bread. That would really all twisted around through the Chinese whispers. Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you got to take all that with a pinch of salt. The parting of the waves. Remember the parting of the waves business? I actually watched a documentary where there is even today, there are actual tides that will do that. You've got a stretch of water, certain times during the day or certain times during the month, the tides will actually move aside and leave a bare open ground for people to get from one island to another island, or that actually happens. But it's just to do with the tidal thing. So if you've got some knowledge of tidal, if you live in an area where that happens regularly, imagine how many people you could impress. If you know that every 30 days it happens, because of the moon and whatever else, because the water goes. Imagine how many people you could impress with that fucking knowledge. You could be doing all kinds of wailing and carrying on and abracadabra, but that was another one where it looks like a big miracle when it's not. It's just knowing the stars and how the moon affects the tides. That's all that is. David Brooks, don't pay for TV license. BBC can kiss my rear end. Exactly. I'm still waiting. Well, the thing is, they sent me my last letter I got from them, which I've still got over there, said if we don't hear from you by the 25th of March, which is this month, 6 days ago, I'm going to go on the, what was it? This is the thing, they put this through to make it deliberately look like it was from the post. So it looked like I was out when they tried to deliver a. If we don't hear from you by the 25th of March 2020, we will escalate our investigation. Oh dear. So I'm waiting for him to come round because I've got my keep my camcorder on charge. So if I do come round, then I'll be filming them on my doorstep, and then I'll post it for everybody's amusement. But you know, if this virus still keeps carrying on, then you know, that'll put a stop to that for the time being anyway. But fuck them, you know, they're not coming in that. Like I keep saying, you're under no obligation to even let them in your house. You're under no obligation to even talk to them. Hello, you know, if they say hello, I'm from the TV license, shut the door. They can't do anything. Even if they've got a policeman with them, they can't do shit. They can't come into your house. Even if they come to your door, there are policemen on videos on YouTube which will lie to your face saying, well, the thing is, we have a warrant here signed by a judge to let us into your property. And the people who own the house, they question them. They put their case forward. They don't come in the house. They don't. You look at it. I don't want to get too far on the subject, but if you think about it, if a policeman has a warrant to enter your house, he will not ask you your permission. Think about that when they come to your door with a signed bullshit from the judge. You know, if he don't need your permission, he don't ask for it. Simple as that. You know, when they say, "Oh, can we talk about this on your front room because we're out in the street? You know, it's a bit private. Can we talk in your kitchen?" They want you to invite them in. And once they're in, you know, try get them out. Anyway, but yeah, that's all there is to it. If they don't need to ask, they don't. Terry Tibbs, can I buy you lunch? Well, that's very decent of you. You know. Oh, by the way, I called your name out. Have a look at the pasta dish if you haven't seen it. Pasta with pork sausage, pepperoni. It's about one or two videos away. It's a big plate of pasta, stringy pasta. Have a look at that. I called you. I mentioned your name in there. But yeah, if you I don't know what. Did you mean by via contribution on the donation thing or in person? I don't know what, but you know, if you're whichever you fancy, you know, I mean, if you're out and about, if you catch me in the co-op or walking around in the milling around the street, which mind you, will be a bit difficult nowadays. By all means, you know, if anybody sees me in the co-op, say, "Oh, you know, Mark's remarks," you know, I'll stand there for a photograph or whatever you want. Anybody. Okay, where are we at? Terry Tibbs wants to buy me lunch. Yeah, what we've sure. I'm up for that. Pablo Mancini, drop a super chat, Terry. Oh, there you go. Yeah, super chat. That's what it's called, super chat. Yeah, it's like a donation thing. But you know, what the thing is, if anybody, what I would say, I keep forgetting to mention it on my cookery vids. You know, if anybody wants to contribute in any way to support the channel that doesn't involve anything, you can do so by just allowing the video, the adverts to run. You know, you might not see any adverts because we're live now, but on the rerun, there'll be a few ads on my cookery ones. What I've done for your benefit as well, you know, like I get it. You know, when you're watching a video, you've got to sit through 2 videos at the front. And then you sit through, you know, and then halfway through the video that you're watching, it'll stop to play an advert. Well, what I've done over the last, I don't know, 3 or 4 videos because I've got the option to. I don't have the option to say what adverts they are, just how many and what type. So what I've done is I've put a no in the skippable ads, right? Which means the skippable ones are the ones you see at the very before the video starts, and it will stop the video in order to play an advert. Those ones I've stopped. The only thing that I've allowed is non-skippable ads, which is not as bad as it sounds. They are the 6-second ones. Okay, so they're not so bad, you know. So they're allowed because they're just 6 seconds. They're there to be over in a flash. Those and the ones that appear in the bottom of the screen and the ones that appear on the right hand side. So the video that you watch from now on, at least my cookery ones, they will be they'll just play from start to finish, you know. And if you can allow you know, any ads that appear on the edge of the screen, they won't interrupt your video watching, but if you can allow them to watch, that's good enough. And if anyone wants to do that, help out the channel, that's marvelous. Or if you want to do like Terry Tibbs did, minus lunch, you know, whatever, whatever's good. Okay, I got notification. Yeah, David Brooks. Yeah, actually, that's the thing. It's I mean, I get notifications sometimes of people that I'm subscribed to, but I don't know. I assume that it's done automatically. I'm guessing. Let me see. Pablo, drop a super chat. Terry Brooks, Terry Tibbs, David Blaine did some silly stunts. Yeah, well, he did. Yeah, some wacky stuff. Standing on the big tower, spending a month inside that glass box. It was funny when he went to. They seem to like him more in England, but in America, it seems to be an English thing. I think, you know, being that I've been around in England for close to 50 years now, I could say that it's definitely an English thing. Where when he went to London and he spent, remember he spent, what was it? I don't know. Was it a month? Anybody remind me? Anybody correct me if I'm wrong? He spent a load of time in that glass box, suspended above the Thames, or you know, he's in London, right? Yeah, you had people throwing eggs at his glass box, you know, that he was living in for however long. Yeah, you don't seem to get that in other countries. It's just English people find the need to throw eggs. It's funny though. Yeah, I don't think he's been back since. Fucking. David Blaine, Terry Tibbs. Oh, Terry Tibbs. Maybe David Blaine will be Jesus in the new few years' time. Yeah, well, I tell you, he's close to it. If he can be underwater for like, what was it, 11 minutes or something, you know, or 7 minutes. Anyway, oh, looks like anyway. Looks like I'm not going to get lunch from Terry after all. No, but that's it. All joking aside, I mean, if anybody sees me in the shops and whatever, if you see me out in Costco or the Seat Centre or on the bus, you can always, you know, say hello. And if you want a picture or a couple of minutes chats telling me how great I am or whatever you like, you know, just, you know, it's good. I mean, because it's very, I don't think I've had people actually write to say that they've seen me in the co-op, you know, and I'm saying, like, oh Christ, just say hello. You know, I may look like a miserable, I just have it all in my head, or I maybe just be thinking about stuff. But I don't mind people, you know, saying hello. And yeah, no, if you want to, you know, if you want a picture, if you have a what do they call that? Say if you have a YouTube channel, or if you have a Google. Oh fuck me, what am I? Facebook or Twitter, and then if you want a photograph to put on it, say, oh, there you go, here's me and some mediocre minor celebrity at best. You know, this is somebody I've met. You know, somebody who's on the internet, not that famous or anything, but you know, you can always you're welcome to put the photograph on your Facebook, you know, page or whatever you like. Pablo, oh wait a minute, what was this? Andy Smith. Can you do a baking video? Well, actually, funny you say that, because I'm thinking about whipping out my bread making machine again. Right, I've got some flour, I've got some yeast. Let's see, I need sugar, salt. I've got those. We got some margarine. Yeah, I need that. Yeah, that's what else do I need? That's about it. A bit of water. Yeah, if anybody's interested, I'll film the bread machine at work. I've actually done a couple of loaves. If you type in Mark's Remarks homemade bread, you'll see a couple of videos. I think they were old videos. I don't think I've done. They were the old shitty camera. I don't think I've done it with the new one. With the new one, I can pause, stop and start, so I can cram it down into like a 10-minute video. But Mark's Remarks homemade bread, and if anybody wants, I'll fuck it, I'll do it anyway. It's my channel. I'll film me doing some bread in the machine. Pablo Mancini, Marks. When are you gonna butter both sides of the bread on the? I don't know. Look, the thing is, I've been trying to get as much use as I can out of the George Foreman grill. Bread is not that easy to get hold of in the shops. Not that I haven't been down in the shops for like 4 or 5 days or so. And even when I did go down there, last time I went there, last week, there was no bread. There was a few, hot dog buns and shit, So, but yeah, if I can get some bread and if I can remember, because a lot of time I'm trying to make as much use as I can, trying to make some interesting videos, trying to use the Foreman grill as best I can, as much as I can, try and make some interesting content with interesting ingredients for you to watch and maybe copy. And sometimes when I remember, it's after I've cooked it, it's just, but if I can remember, I'll butter the outside. But I mean, I'm just trying to make interesting content while I've, for anybody who's interested. Terry Tibbs, when's the merch coming out? I don't know. Well, the thing is, I don't know. Make merchandise. It'd be interesting. I can have that, thing on a t-shirt. If I can figure out a way to have a company do it where I don't have to buy 500 t-shirts and sit on them until they get sold, but maybe if they I don't know, I don't know, lots of people have t-shirts. If they can do it where they make them to order or whatever, so I don't have to sit on a bunch of stock for a year. Maybe I could do that. I could do t-shirts. I could some cheap stuff. Because I mean, some of these fucking t-shirts, man, they're scandalous. The prices. But if I can do t-shirts, sell them out dirt cheap. Maybe some cheap stuff, t-shirts, maybe key rings. I don't know, whatever else is the cheap stuff. Because there are a lot of people. They go for the whole lot. They go for the t-shirt. They go for the vest, the t-shirts, the jumpers or sweaters, and jackets and all kinds of stuff, But yeah, interesting, Let's see. Yeah, maybe get a dinner plate with my face on it. That'd be good. Pablo, what's this? Mark's bread. Pablo, you will never look back. I will buy a Mark's Remarks mug. Indeed, yeah. I mean, if I could figure out how to find a company who will make them to order, so I don't have, like I say, I don't have to sit on loads of stock. I'm happy doing some, I mean, and then that way, if nobody buys them, I haven't laid out hundreds and hundreds of pounds. Speaking of which, yeah, I'll have to chase up the council soon. Tomorrow's the first day of the month, I believe. I don't know when the allotments are coming up for the rents, so people will be giving them up once they figure out that the rents due. But yeah, I mean, I'll get an allotment and then spend a few £100 on getting a beehive. I'm looking forward to doing that as long as I get the allotment. Let's see. Pablo Mancini would love to eat fried rice from my face. But yeah, to tell you, I mean, the thing is, if a mug, see, I mean, I don't know, but I would imagine the amount of product, clay, that goes into making a mug would probably round about the same as goes into a small plate, I would imagine. So, going on that rationale, possibly a plate would be roughly the same price as a mug, and that way it'd be something different, and that way somebody can, it might be a nice little thing where people can eat dinner off a plate with a, I don't know. Terry Tibbs, 6th of April, the new tax month. Yeah, because isn't it March or at the moment, and then you say he's got January? Isn't it March? Usually March, and then it's changed to April. Yeah, yeah. The Americans are doing the same thing. They're changing their. Well, the thing is, they're changing the tax dates. That's the thing. The fucking world has gone to shit. People are dying left or right with the tax. Yeah, the tax money. We want your tax money. This is. It's like on the. I haven't heard about it from the English news. I don't know how. But on the American news channel, they're talking about people how because how are people going to pay their rent and pay the mortgage and pay the taxes and all. And I'm thinking to myself, well, no, you don't. It's like 3 million have signed on unemployment benefit. Um, you know, a fraction of the businesses in the country are working, well, up and running, because they are, well, they might call it essential, foods and medicines and, masks, face mask making and stuff. Anyway, essential businesses. So the majority of companies are just stopped. Things that are not essential. And the news channel are talking about people are in hardship because they've got no way to pay the rent or pay the mortgage or or pay the electric bill. But I'm watching this, I'm thinking, well, well, no. If the electric people ring up and say, yeah, where's our money? I say, well, fuck off. You know what's going on out there. I haven't been going over to work. You'll get your money when the fucking bullshit blows over and I'm back into work. You'll get your money. Same with the mortgage people, same with the rent, same with the electric, same with the fucking phone. You just ring them up. Same with the council tax. You say no. I can't go to work. I can't even leave the fucking house through fear of dying. So you'll get your money. You've got to fucking wait for it. I've got bigger priorities like trying to fucking feed the family. That's what. So yeah. So moving the tax thing, it is like whatever you want to do. You'll get the money when it comes in, motherfuckers. I mean, when you've got a choice of feeding kids or going down the shop with limited supplies, spending what money you have on the limited supplies, feeding your family or paying the phone bill, feeding your kids or paying the mortgage, let the fucking mortgage wait, Yeah, Terry Tubbs loves fish fingers, or Terry Tibbs rather. Yeah, I like fish fingers. Yeah, they're a good thing to put in some as a filler in a lot of dishes. Pablo Mancini, you try them in. Oh, you try them in fried rice, Terry, like Mark. It's a taste sensation. Yeah, I did a rice stir fry. I can't remember exactly what it was. Was it a paella? I think a chicken paella. And I put some fish fingers in there, and I put some breaded mushrooms in there. If you can drag out the freezer, just throw it in there. Yeah, you ought to take a look. Anyway. Terry Tibbs, Epic Pablo, yeah, fish fingers and rice, yeah. Terry Tibbs says, I heard they want to stop sales of Easter eggs. Well, I mean, aside from the chocolate, because I know from personal experience, when I got fired by those two fucking cunts that I used to work with. They had it in for me and they got me fired. I was out of work for a while, and you really, it's when you're not working for a, and you're fucking scraping around, you really appreciate the a chocolate bar. It is amazing. When you're in work and everything's great, you just go down the shop, you fancy a can of Coke, you fancy a chocolate bar, bag of crisps, but when you're not able to have these things, you really notice. So the only thing that a chocolate bar, the Easter eggs, would be good for is for a chocolate sugar hit and a morale boost. Nobody in the right mind is celebrating Christmas, Easter, well, unless they're religious, but they can do that at home. But the point is, nobody who buys Easter eggs sees the relevance anyway to the the Easter egg is to celebrate the rebirth of Jesus when he got killed and got resurrected. Although what eggs have got to do with him coming back to life is a mystery. But just having a sugar rush, that's the only thing. And you can buy that any chocolate bar going, So, yeah, I would imagine that Easter eggs, plus, they're not the most economical chocolate bar to eat at the best of times. Unless you go for the £1 ones, That's the thing about Easter eggs. I can't believe there's not many people watching now. Shit. When I was a kid, when I was like, let's see, when I was about 5 years old, right? Which you imagine was a long time ago. Easter eggs, even the ones that are £1 now, okay, the absolute smallest one. You got a real thin, small, I don't know if you can see about that tall, an Easter egg, that size of an orange kind of size, a little bit bigger than that perhaps. And it's got a few Smarties inside, or whatever chocolate bar, whatever company is actually making the Easter egg. Could be Rolos, could be Kit Kat, could be Smarties, could be Cadbury's Buttons. Instead of putting that stuff in it, they would put the Easter egg in a mug, a kid-sized teacup, So the kid got I remember when I was like 5, which would have been 1975, for Easter, we got an Easter egg, a small Easter egg, good, kid-sized Easter egg, in a mug, like they gave away then, with the Bay City Rollers on it, and I was well fucking chuffed. The Bay City Rollers. If anybody remembers them, shout out there. That wasn't. And but nowadays you don't get that. You get a few little Smarties or whatever in it. I'm just going to quickly read. Oh dear! Look, Terry Tibbs. You seem like a decent guy. You're throwing in some comments, and we're having a good dialogue here. When you start writing stuff like that, it's gonna, I'm just gonna have to deal with it. All right, look, that'll be your one chance to write in that. Thank you, Pablo. Yeah, it was a different person. I'm not that person. Okay, so there you go, Terry Tibbs. That's your one chance before I have to deal with. You're writing that stuff to get a rise out of me. Okay, every time look. Anyway, so you've been told. Okay, so let me see. I'm just looking at my notes here. Some churches in America are still, yeah. So that was that guy, and also, actually, maybe whoever, if there's anybody here working in supermarkets or Costco or anything like this related, or say those online, when people type in what they want online and then people go around the warehouse and pick the stuff. And then they get a driver to deliver it. Anybody in there, in England, do that? Because in America, some of them are actually going on strike because what they're doing is, they're in a regular supermarket with people coming in, no masks, not keeping the 6 foot distance. And also these shops, they as well as being open for the public, they also do the mail order delivery service, and what they're doing, they're complaining that they're not getting the safety equipment, the masks, the gloves, the hand sanitizer, and all that stuff, and they're supposed to be doing. And what's happening is, I mean, what's because they're threatening to go on strike, saying we want danger money, we want fucking danger money, we want the equipment to keep ourselves safe because we have to deal with this all day and then go home to our families. What the fuck? And of course, what they know is what a lot of people should know, that when these people are working through this epidemic, this disease epidemic that we're going through, when the supermarket people do, they are making the fucking Sainsbury's, Tesco's in England and whatever else companies in America, they're making the company millions. Because imagine a big percentage of the shops are shut in the country. So the ones that are open are going to be flooded with people. The amount of money going through the tills will be insane. Okay, so the people who are on the front line tills working and stacking the shelves and picking the orders, not having the safety equipment to keep them from being infected by the people coming in, and all they're asking for is safety equipment. If I'm gonna make you fucking millions by putting my life on the bastard line, I want some compo for it, which is only fair, and what's happening is some of it I'm reading between the lines because because of course we're not getting the full story about anything, but there was the people are threatening to go on strike, and the people are saying, look, we're not having it, we want this, that, and the other. One guy stood up and said, because one guy is infected, he's off, that they saying, no, this is not right, and he's trying to drum up support by saying, we have to fucking stand together. They fired him. They got the fucking rid of that guy, the supermarket, whichever supermarket it was. And by the time he got to the news, the supermarket put out a memo to the news saying, no, actually, the thing is, he was putting people's health and safety by not keeping the 6-foot distance between everybody. So we had to get rid of him for everybody's good. For one thing, you can't keep a 6-foot distance because you're in a supermarket and everybody's milling around. As best you can do to keep your distance, you cannot keep, especially if the place is crowded, people are climbing over each other trying to get groceries. But no, they don't want to say, well, this guy was causing trouble by trying to rally the staff to demand compo or higher wages or bonuses and as well as safety equipment. He's a troublemaker. Rather than say they got rid of him, they try to blame this poor bastard by saying it's his fault. He wasn't adhering to the safety regulations, which he probably can't do to a high degree anyway because of the job that he's in. But yeah, it goes to show what fucking bastards they are. The amount of money they're making, and they will do this to. So, like I've told everybody that people that I've worked with in the past, in any job, they think they're they think they're essential workers or but you're a number. You don't mean shit to these people. They're making hand over fist money because if you're running a big supermarket and all the little supermarkets, they're all out of stock, they've all shut down, there's nowhere else. If you're one of the very few people to get supplies, the amount of money coming through the door will be astronomical. So millions and possibly billions by the time this is over, and they treat their staff like that. You put up or you shut up. My way or the highway. Keep your mouth shut. Don't cause any trouble. Just earn your minimum fucking wage, no matter how dangerous it is. And if you don't like it, we'll get you fired. And then we'll tell the news that it's your fault. Bunch of motherfuckers. That's what it's like to work for big companies. They don't give a flying fuck about you or anybody else who looks like you. The Sim Insider. Hey Mark, good to see you, and channel is still growing with users. Indeed. So I'm reading several things at once there. Good to see. Yeah, thanks very much. Yeah, still going, doing what I can. which, by the way, yeah, yeah, I mean, the subs are increasing. They kind of went, what it does, it kind of grows a little bit. Sometimes it'll grow quite quickly. It'll just either freeze or grow very slowly. But I'm putting the I'm churning out the material, and if anybody wants to help in that regard, if you want to. In fact, it was he's not on today, but a subscriber, Lee Merton, he wrote to on comments the other day, a few days ago, saying that he puts my videos onto his Facebook and Twitter and whatever else, other things they've got going on, the internet. And it is great. It's a big boost to the channel. And if anybody else has that facility, if you want to help out the channel, just take a few of my videos or whatever amount you want, but one that you have some videos that you like, maybe post them on Google, Facebook and Twitter and everything else. That'd be and maybe introduce my channel to people who wouldn't normally find me by accident. But whatever anybody can do, that'd be great in that regard. And of course, watch the adverts, or at least don't click off the adverts when they come up. They'll only appear on the sides and on the bottom there, and the 6-second. It all helps. It's all good, because I'm doing what I can to try and plug the channel. Because I'm not on the buses and going around and doing my thing. I'm not passing out any more tickets. I'm not able to, because I'm not sort of in contact with people. So my little cards I printed up. Let me see. Terry Tibbs. Mark, I'm off. I will order you takeaway later tonight. Right. Well, thank you very much. I'm not sure where you'll get it delivered to, but thank you for the the offer. Jack McCready. I always pronounce that. I have to read that carefully. Jack McGreedy. Spot on, Mark. It's all mental, indeed. Oh, by the way, Jack McCready. I don't think you. If you haven't seen it already, check out my video a couple of videos ago of the thumbnail is a big bowl of stringy pasta with pepperoni, and pork sausage, and something else. Can't remember. Anyway, it's about 2 or 3 videos away. It's a pasta dish. I mentioned your. I did a bunch of shout outs. If you want to see it, your name's mentioned in it. Oh, Batesy boy. Oh, could have done with you 5 minutes ago. I had some. How's he going? He says, "Oh, I'll tell you. I was just when that came up, I was just thinking about you. And somebody was being awkward again. Every so often, people think it's funny to write. Aren't you the guy that was selling that dodgy meat all those years ago? No, it was another Mark. People who know my first and last name, they put the two together and come up with 5. So yeah, but I told the guy not to do that anymore, or I'll deal with him. But he seems okay now. He's not been in any trouble. Check McGreedy. Yeah, check that. It's the pasta one about 2 or 3 videos ago. What was I saying? Right, I was talking. Batesy Boyo, Hitler's toilet is on the top of the list. Yeah, he was being a bit funny the other day. That was it. It was about that pasta dish, calling it a dog's dinner. What the fuck? Some people, it's like how much I feel like saying Hitler's toilet there. How much did you pay for admission? It's like you get to watch all this good stuff for free. Calling it a dog's dinner. No, I actually wrote to him and said, look, if I was a dog, I'd having me Mark make my dinner for me. I mean, not many dogs can eat. Hello. Channel is unstable again. I had a look at trying to reduce the quality of the picture, but I couldn't. What the fuck was I saying? But yeah, anyway, yeah, it'd be calling it a dog's dinner. Yep. Oh, thank you very much, Batesy Boyo. You'll be watching out for comments. while he's here. Yeah, I don't know how long I'll be here. I'll be going 50 minutes. You know, let's see. I've actually, because I've got a couple of threatening to, yeah, supermarkets in America. Some of them are over safety conditions. No, they're not getting given masks or nothing, having to deal with the public. And if they complain, one guy got infected, and if you complain about it, they fire you and say it was because you weren't being health conscious enough. That's what these fucking supermarkets are like. At least this is a particular American one. I would imagine that if you pulled that shit in England, something similar would happen as well. Because at the end of the day, they could fire you, make up any story they like, and the perfect one is, well, he's not. He's putting people's lives in danger. Well, no, I mean, we're in a crowded supermarket. I'm trying to keep them distance. But anyway, that's what it's like. Channel is much better than it was. Imagine everyone is using the net. Actually, that might be correct. Yeah, you might have a point there, because normally it's in the evening when I do my live streams. And of the last couple of live streams, the quality, well, the picture's gone to shit. You know, it comes up, unstable link and all that lot. But I'm doing this during the day. It's only happened once, just a couple of minutes ago. So, so maybe it's because less people are on the net. I don't know. Is it going? I'll do. Let's see. Channel. Yeah. I mean, does anybody work in a supermarket? Anybody watch it? There's only a few people watching. But if anybody works in a supermarket, you know, let us know. Let me know what kind of conditions you're under. Are they giving you face masks if you're on the till, or gloves and face masks if you're stacking the shelves and stuff? What's it like there? Is it crowded? What's it like? Are people behaving themselves? You know. Matey boy, it doesn't feel like a live stream without any vodka. Yeah, well, the thing is, it's a little bit early for me for the vodka. Although, I mean, well, not really, but I mean, if I did drink it, I'd end up going. Although, even if I didn't go, you know, not that I'd go unconscious anyway. You know, I'm not that daft. But even if I drank some vodka or a couple of cans of lager or a couple of pints or whatever, you know, it would, you know, I'd end up going to sleep and waking up in the evening. Yeah. Anyway, oh, you know what? Just as an extra thing, when all this is over, right? Because people have expressed an interest in me doing a few videos after this is all over and it's all gone back to normal, as normal as it can be. If I'll do some prepping videos, you know. Jesus, look at that! They fill these right to the top, and some prepping videos, and you know, giving demonstrations, making a few videos on what to prep, where, you know, what kind of foods and products to prep. You know, what to stock up on, ready for an emergency, and you know, where to get the stuff, where to get the bargains, how to, you know, but basically how to go about making a stock. You know, maybe breaking it down into weekly rather than going every month and spending 10, 20, 30, or whatever, you know, is your budget. Break it down into weekly. You know, say £3 a week. You know, just get certain items. You know, and where to go and all that lot. Anyway, one thing that just occurred to me now is these are good as storage things, you know, because I mean, these are 5 litre. This is a co-op water. Is £1.20, I think. I think it's £1.20 for 5 litres. You probably get this, you know, most shops will probably sell it to you in the same. Do they do anything higher? Anybody know? Anybody know if they do higher than 5 litre bottles? Not the co-op, but, you know, supermarkets. You know, maybe 10 litre bottles, although 10 litres might be a bit difficult to pour into your pot noodle tub if you're trying to get a drink. But yeah, I'd be interested to know if they do anything bigger than 5. the point, but these make good things, you know. I mean, if say, if you've got bags of stuff, okay, say for example, piled up, open the bags, get a funnel. In fact, get a 2 litre Coke bottle, cut the top off, turn it upside down, and put a funnel. You know, pour it in there. So you got like, you might have 5, 6 bags of rice, small bags of rice in there, all in one container. It's got a handle on it. It's got a lid to keep the air out. Or you could put pasta in there. You could put I don't know. I don't know whether you'd put baking flour. This is 5 litres baking flour bags. So you probably get like 4 or 5 bags of flour in here if you wanted. You could put all kinds of. You could, if you wanted. I mean, you could put fill up with cigarette lighters. We get 200 cigarette lighters in there. You know, I'm just saying that. They make good containers. You know, if you're not going to store bottles of water like that, once they're empty, you know, dry them out, let them dry out for a few days on the dish rack or on the windowsill, and you know, you can put things in them. Yeah, like rice, pasta, flour, you know, lentils, whatever, you know, whatever you small stuff, sugar, I don't know, salt. Well, I mean, salt. I'm just talking, you know, because I mean, salt comes in a plastic tub anyway. Sometimes you can get it in paper bags or plastic bags, but sugar comes in a paper bag. Last thing you want to do there is get any moisture on the paper bag, because otherwise you're talking about you know, if you spill a drink on a bag of sugar, imagine, I mean, that whole thing could turn into one big block of sugar. Just an option. Anyway, I don't want to get onto that too much, but it's a good way of storing stuff, you know. Anyway, that's just, but that's the kind of thing I'll be bringing up. One of the subjects I'll be bringing up in these storage videos. Pablo Mancini, yes, Mark. If you make videos, I will make the channel grow. Oh, I think maybe it will make the channel grow. Yeah. Well, actually, that's I'm hoping, you know, because I'm trying to think of ideas to keep people's interest and get new people onto the channel. So yeah, you know, so it's all you know, because what I do, you know, if I do a change of subject used in the past, put those up, people might come onto that and think, oh well, I'm here, I'll see what else he's doing, you know. Yeah, you know, it's all about diversifying. Plus, it's an interesting subject to me personally. Stockpiling stuff, because you got to remember, you know, as well as stockpiling for yourself, supplies, bob roll, soap, shampoo, wash up liquid, bath sponges for the dishes to scrub them down, laundry powder, as well as food products, as well as, you know, doing that for yourself and your family. Remember that there's always the unforeseen circumstance. Say something comes up, an emergency, or you know, say you want to help a friend out. You've got that option, you know. You say, well, I've got some extra supply, you know, having more, and also having more than what you might require. Because I mean, the thing is, I say, what was I saying about putting in there 100 cigarette lighters, you know, 200 cigarette lighters. May sound, I mean, I was exaggerating, but I'm just going to make a point that you can put stuff in there. Of course, cigarette lighters is currency. You could put little sachet. You could fill this up. You know, I was talking about sugar. Admittedly, I was thinking about pouring a bag of sugar in there to stop the bag from getting wet. You fill this up with sachets of sugar that you might get from, say, McDonald's, or, you know, or you can buy them actually, you know, in cash and carry. But fill it up with loose sugar or fill it up with sachets. That's just as good, because sachets of sugar, again, is currency. We're talking about when things get, you know, worse than what they are now, as bad as they seem to be getting. I'm talking worse than now. Cigarette lighters, the ability to make fire, you know, you know, sachets or jars of coffee, drinking chocolate. I don't know about tea. Tea maybe. Yeah, I mean tea. eggs will last a long time. You got that. You got sugar sachets. You've got you know, all these little things that will fit in a tub like that, used as currency, they're used as trading, you know, because I mean, I've mentioned a few times when I was young, and I tell you, it fucking amazes me how people don't do it anymore. When I was between 5 and 7 ish, when we left to come to Milton Keynes here, uh, people traded stuff. You know, we grew, like I've mentioned this before, we grew potatoes and say strawberries. I remember strawberries and potatoes, and I think we grew some other shit, right? Some something else, some carrots, I don't know. But the neighbours, the Partridges, I still remember the name, Mr. and Mrs. Partridge. They grew cabbages and say onion, you know, and people traded. You know, we had chickens in the bottom of the garden. You know, I'm sure we traded with the neighbours for those. If I, you know, these are all barter tools. You know, if you grow certain stuff in your garden, if you're growing potatoes in a world's got a shit scenario, you're growing potatoes in your garden. Every time you get a crop, you can trade with somebody who has bars of soap with somebody 6 doors away. You know, I've got potatoes for bars of soap because he might have had the sense to overstock on bars of soap. He may have hundreds of bars and he's got plenty to spare, so he's willing to trade. You know, use coffee, use anything. You know, use you know, bottles of water, bottles of jars of coffee. You can trade, even though you collect enough for yourself, and then you collect more for trading purposes. Because I mean, we haven't gone to that stage yet, I don't think. I mean, I haven't been to the shops in a few days because I've been trying, avoiding, making, being in public areas and shit. But if it gets any worse, which is likely to do, once the shops stop restocking as fast as what we're used to, people's resources will be dropping. And one of two things will happen is, like I've said before, give it a week of the shop. Once the shops stop restocking, people will be mugging each other in the street and breaking into houses and whatnot for resources, or people will go to trade, and I haven't been hearing much about people growing stuff in their gardens, seeing as but yeah, there'll be trading items. If some guy has chickens, he can trade for coffee. That's how that works. And personally, I'll be as happy as a pig in shit if we went back to that. If we went back to the barter system, because that's what I plan on doing. If I can get this allotment, I'll be growing. I mean, admittedly, I wasn't planning on this epidemic, but I was planning on growing some veg and also having the beehive. Both a good barter. I mean, if I could, I mean, most of the time I'll probably give away a lot of the just for shits and giggles. I'll just grow a few things for myself and then just give the rest away. With whatever potatoes I grow and stuff. But in an emergency, that can be used as trading. The honey, definitely. Try and sell that to recoup the money to pay for the beehive. And after that's done, then I can use the money to use for stockpiling, storing, prepping. But also it is a good barter. Because there's. I mean, you mentioned. I mean, sugar's good, okay, but honey is better. In my opinion, honey has an infinite lifespan. I say that with no exaggeration. I mean, they found honey in the pyramids. Honey is a good barter item. You can either buy it fairly cheap from the shops, pound or two for a cheap shop brand honey. I mean, the thing is, with those cheap shop brand honeys, you've got an amalgamation of. But basically, when you've got a beehive or different sections of the beehive, the way I understand it, each different, I can't remember the name, each different section that produces honey, you've got that because it comes from a certain plant and it tastes a certain way and it has a certain color. The next one might be slightly different because it was made in a different season. The one next to that, it will be in a different season again. Oh yes, barter market. Use my body as a barter. Yes. Each little bit of honey producing area in the hive is made by a different plant, perhaps because of different seasons. What happens with the cheap brands is they just amalgamate all of it together in one big tub and then fill up a jar, fill up a jar, fill up a jar. So you're getting a mixture of 12 different types of honey, which is why it tastes okay, but apparently not as good as the fresh, pure stuff, you know. So anyway, but so people will be hopefully willing to trade, because at the end of the day, no matter how good a prepper you are, not everybody has the space and the wherewithal and the money and the time and the I mean, you can't store everything that you need. I mean, you can only do what you can. You might have, I mean, like you might have space to store up. When the going gets good and shops are filling up, you could store up on the bog rolls, the soaps, the washing up liquids, the laundry powder, toothpaste, toothbrushes. You can do those, but you can't store everything. You can't store. You might not have room for a load of matches, candles. Those disposable barbecues. They're handy if the shit hits the fan. You can cook your food outside. Hand sanitizer, certain things you just don't have the room or the money to invest in, but other people have. They've done that. They've stocked up on candles and stuff. So that's where trading comes in. So like we're growing in the garden, you don't need to grow everything. You don't need to grow 12 different fucking vegetables. Grow two, grow them really well and really in abundance. Just two of them. The next guy, he's growing two. The guy over there, he's growing two. You don't need to grow 12 different items. And with the storing, you don't need to store so many different things. You just need to do 6 to 10 items, but really go to town, stuff that you will use. And with the, of course, like the laundry detergents and the wash up liquids and stuff. But we're talking about the excess. That's the stuff you trade, because you've accumulated an abundance more above and beyond what you need. Anyway, I hope that makes sense. I don't want to waffle too much on that. Crazy Red 01. Yeah, any tips on surviving the apocalypse? Yeah, well, as soon as it's over, start. Oh, look at the hardships that we're having now. Okay, everybody's cutting their throats for a fucking bog roll, right? Fast. People, the shops are getting double deliveries. They're flying out the shelves as fast as they're coming in. Look at the problems we're having now. And when this stuff is over, in whatever how many months it's going to be, when it's over, look back at the hardships that were happening now, and obviously bog rolls were there with a bit of a problem, so stock up on those. You just learn by what's happening now. I mean, it's not like we're short on epidemics. We've fucking had them since forever. Everything from mad cow to SARS to fucking every few years we have something. But it's only now that people are dropping like flies, So look at what's lacking in your house and your provisions now, and make good when the going's good. Accumulate those, and there's plenty of videos out there as well on prepping. I'm going to do some videos, basically, of what I'm doing and my experience in the prepping department. But there's plenty of others. There's people who do it full time. There are people who've got basements dedicated to this. I've got a room. I've got a spare room. I'll clear all the crap out of there. I've got all my stuff, stocked up in there, so I don't have to have it in the kitchen. But eventually I'll clear all that out, and I'll dedicate that room to having a store, and I'll be filming that, and for Batesy Boy, Flameless Cooking Systems, Mark. Trekmates does great kit for like 15 quid. Good for prepping. Indeed. It'd be interesting, because I mean there are lots of different things out there. Because when it comes to cooking food, see, I mean, people people prep for different things. You know, I prepped for when I break a bone again or crack a bone. Last time it was in my foot. And I was out for a while, you know. So, but other people prepped for tsunamis, lightning strikes, meteor strikes, fucking all kinds of stuff. People who are prepping for when a power cut happens, that's one thing you can prep for. So they'll be overloading on they'll be prepping on candles, cigarette lighters for the candles, torches, you know, cooking stuff. So, I mean, then you've got the option to, what do? Do you go for a camping bottle of gas with a little, you know, the little cross thing on the top where you put your pan? Do you go for that? Is that more economical for storage? Or is the, you know, those miniature barbecues you get in a tin tray that you light and you get like half an hour's worth of cooking time on it? Depend. So I mean, I don't know how much these things cost, the fuel or the barbecue, but you've got your option. You know, you if you're prepping for that, you think, right, well, if the power goes out, we're fucked, so we can't cook. So what's the most economical? Maybe it's both, the gas and the barbecue. You know, maybe there's some other form of maybe there's an electric hot plate that is solar powered. I don't know. Maybe they invented that. You know, if there is, you plug it in, have it by the window. If there's something invented, but that might be more economical, you know, because it's a one-time purchase. You don't have to keep refilling on the gas bottles. You don't have to keep refilling on the barbecue. Maybe if they've invented that, maybe that's. So look at the different options out there: gas, coal, solar power cookers, log cookers. You know, you can, but you know those what are they called? Rocket stove. If you look at it sideways, imagine a tube. Okay, I use this as an example. It's kind of like that shape. Okay, you've got a small piece of tube metal, maybe 6-8 inches long. It's on feet down here. A little tube there, which you load with sticks and twigs and, you know, bits of bark and all that. It goes in there, 6-8 inches long. And then you've got a long pipe, which where the, well, actually you'd have it more up here. So then you can put your pot top. What it does, it just runs on twigs, and because it's such a narrow tube, you know, it's like a, you know, but in the equivalent, it'd be like something like a, say, a 2x4 if it was made of wood. Imagine that, but a tube. So you put your pot on the top, it just runs on twigs on here. I'm going to try and get somebody to make me one, and you know, that way you can cook outside. All you need is twigs and stuff that you can pick up. You buy it once, you don't have to refill it with gas, you don't have to refill it with barbecue briquettes and stuff, you know. Anyway, that's another option, you know. And if I manage to get somebody to make me one, again, I'll do a review on that, you know, show everybody. To boil water for drinks, you can cook your beans and soaks. You won't be making fucking Sunday roast or any of that shit, you know. And you know, but you can get a frying pan going. You know, you can fry chicken breast, you can fry bacon, sausages, whatever you know. You know, but these are, if anybody's what would encourage you to do, people start, you know, bringing bits of paper and a pen to my live streams. Because I would encourage you to, what's it called, rocket stove. Write down rocket stove, and when I'm done here, go onto YouTube and have a look at videos. You'll see from a side view, it's like a tick, you know, and you'll see exactly how. I mean, there's lots of different variations. There's big ones, small ones. There's ones that are about 2 foot high. But the idea is you've got a little tube at the bottom where you put in sticks, and that's all it does. It just runs on sticks. Sticks about the size of a pencil. You don't, but you just keep it sticking in. And because all the heat is concentrated in one small area, up that long tube with your pan on the top, a tube the size of a dinner plate, but because it's a small tube and you put your pan on the top, it's all, the heat is concentrated like a jet. You know, it's called a rocket stove. So, you know. Yeah, Pablo Mancini, really looking forward to the prepping. Yeah, I'm looking forward to doing it as well, you know. It'd be a nice little hobby to get into. I'll be doing that, of course, along with the allotment. Assuming I don't want to. I'm probably going to jinx it. The amount I'm talking about my allotment, you know. Batey Boyo, have you ever made a penny stove out of a? I was going to say, yeah. I was going to say, when he said penny stove, yeah, I have a bean tin or a Coke can. Out of a beer can, they are fun to make and really effective for a homemade stove. You know what? I might give that a go because I do know exactly what you're talking about. I have seen videos on that. Because I'm the type of guy, if I'm interested in a subject, no matter what it is, I was researching homesteading and emergency prepping and all that stuff ages ago, and I've watched videos on hundreds of videos on all kinds of different topics, and those penny stoves made out of a Coke can or a beer can. I have watched those. I would have to brush up on them to actually, remember exactly how to put it together. I mean, I'm picturing it in my mind, but I'm not sure certain how to put it together because it's been such a long time. But that's actually a good idea. Penny stove. That's what it's called, isn't it? Penny stove. I'll make a note of that, and I shall look at. I shall brush up on some videos. And yeah, I mean, I could make one of those. You know what? I mean, I'll have a look. That'd be. Yeah, I could see. I will give that a go. Looks delish. Oh, we might be talking about that pasta dish that I mentioned to him. Couple of videos ago, I made a pasta dish and I did like 13 shout outs, which is probably a record. Because I shouted. I'm sorry if I missed anybody who didn't. I didn't shout out, but I went through the backlog of everybody who's been writing messages over the last week and wrote everybody's name down and just did, a shout out because people like hearing their name shouted out. So I thought I'd do that for everybody. And if anybody's interested in seeing if your name's on there, it's the pasta dish from about 2. Good idea with the pennies. Oh, he's back again. He says he's going to try that. Yeah, that was the pasta dish with 3 different meats: pork sausage, pepperami. Oh, and chorizo. That was it. That was the third one. Where was I going? Yeah, good stuff. Good stuff of stuff. A good stuff of spam, tuna, and hot dogs would be good. Yeah, well, I made stuff with hot dogs and spam. I made like stir fry, a rice stir fry. Oh, stash. Right underneath, he's put stash. So that'd be a good. Oh, I see. A good stash of spam, tuna, and hot dogs would be good. Indeed, all these all these food items, very simple. Because basically, when you're making a food store, you've got to remember you don't want anything too extravagant. I've been making extravagant dinners because I'm using ingredients of what I've got on the shelves, which I happen to be, have before this disaster hit, before the shops stopped, restocking as well. So I'm able to make pasta dishes with 3 different types of meat because I happen to have 3 different meats on hand. In a disaster scenario, then but yeah, you're right. Things like tuna, which are very expensive for what they are. You ever seen a fucking tuna? These things are like a fucking imagine what do you call it? A small pony without legs. That's huge. So for what they are, they're very expensive. Anyway, but tuna, like you say, spam, hot dogs. Oh, and also I'll reiterate this when I do the channels, when I do the videos. If you're doing story planning at the back, so you've got a constant stuff of fresh cans, look for the longest dates. But the point is, if you're looking for the storage, don't use those ones with the ring pulls that pull off. Reason being, by all it kind of makes sense as well, is that you see the reason why you can pull the ring pull off the top of the can is because that bit of metal is made thinner because it's designed. It has to be thin because it has to be scored, has to be thinner for you to physically pull the top off. You get in fruit. I had a can of fruit the other day with some ice cream, and you get it on beans and soups. Okay, they're easy to pull off because they've scored the shape of the lid so you can pull it off by hand. Those are weaker than cans that you need a proper can opener for. If you want one that for long lasting, get the one you need a can opener. If it's one that you're going to be using anytime soon, by all means use the ring pull ones. But they're structurally weaker by definition because they've been scored for you to physically pull the lid off. So it's stuff like that I'll be, but it's just sort of it's obvious and common sense, but it's only common sense and obvious when you know it. If you don't know these things, then they're not common or knowledge, common knowledge. It's only obvious if you like sometimes you think, like sometimes you see a video. How did I manage to get through years without doing that? It's the same thing. It's only obvious when you get told. I never thought it was that. I never knew about it until it came up on a video. And I said, yeah, it's weaker. It's structurally weaker, which is not a problem in itself. But I mean, if you're scoring for years on end, then you want something that's gonna be robust. Batesy Boyo, if you drink as much as me, I had about 20 all different colors from different cans. Are you talking about the little stove? Yeah, I'm sure about the colors from different cans. Are you talking? Actually, maybe I missed. Did I miss a comment? Penny Stoner. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, I'll give that a go. I think I shall look into that. See if I can make one. Pablo Mancini of the cooker. Indeed, yeah. I mean, I've seen lots of different variations. That's the good thing about the internet or the YouTube, is that I know somebody who does some welding, so hopefully I'm going to try and talk him into making me one. But when you see one guy make one on the internet, on the YouTube, and he make a video, and you think, yeah, that is actually a very simple and ingenious design. How can I improve on it? It's like everything you see on YouTube or in the shops. One person invented it, and then somebody else came along and made it better. So yeah, I mean, I've seen ones that are that big. I've seen ones that are up to there if I'm standing up. I've seen a double one. Where you got two things there, and I've seen ones where it's actually got a compartment where you can actually bake things in it, not just the thing they got pan on the top for bacon and stuff. You've got a compartment where you put a joint of meat in there. There's so many variations. There's ones on wheels, there's ones on feet, there's ones with all different kinds of legs. Yeah, Anyway. Let's see. Rocky Soda, yeah. Jack McCready, he's just watched it. Oh, you've just watched that pasta one. It says it looks good. Yeah, I tell you, you want to try that. It's such a tasty dish. It was incredible. Pablo Mancini, you could get one from the scrapyard. Well, I don't know, but I mean, you could definitely get the materials from the scrapyard. The only thing you got to watch out for is there's some kind of steel. You got iron and steel. My mind's gone blank. Galvanized steel. You can't use galvanized steel. Apparently, you can't. You can't weld it as well. Otherwise, it'll kick off toxic fumes. Galvanized steel. So you don't get made of galvanized steel. One, because when they weld it together, it'll be toxic fumes, and then when you start cooking on it, it'll be even worse. So avoid galvanized, but anybody who knows how to weld will know the difference between galvanized steel and regular, the stuff you can use. But yeah, because what I want to do, I want to, either I don't know, get a courier to deliver it, or come around and pick it up. But I'm sure if anybody's, because what I'll do, if I, this is all depending, but he's got so much on his plate at the moment. Andy Smith, Mark, could you move your tattoos closer to the camera so we can have an eyeful? Well, okay, all right. Well, there's the one. That was my first one. One day when I get some money, I might want to add some to that. But there's the other one. There's the tiger up there. The tiger goes up to the greenery, goes up to the shoulder there, a bit above. That one, that one was a good one. This one was actually a very small tiger in the book, and what I'd done, I said to them, blow it up, change the stripes so they don't match the picture exactly. Change the tail, had that put on, and then later on I had some jungle put round. I went in there and I think I can't remember if I did it or somebody else did it. Drew some shrubbery, some jungle bush, and then put that on it a couple of years later. So yeah, that's what I'd say to people. Find something, because so there's no other one exactly like this. For one, the jungle, the tiger was out of the book, but it was changed. The black patterning on the tiger was changed to make it look totally different to the picture, and also the tail. Oh, and also it was actually the tiger was actually standing on a rock, a big boulder, and I had that taken away. So yeah, so nobody else will have one exactly like that. What is a shame, which I mean, it's kind of like a joke. When you got that Black Panther, there was a time when you just see that quite regular. It was a total generic. Open the book, that'll do. It was a Black Panther, and it's got this claw mark. Yeah, Bexy Boyo, your penny stoves. I was obsessed for a while. Indeed, I tell you, I mean, the thing is, it's a good hobby to, or a good thing to, look into. It is because it's one of those things that you can impress people at a party, or scrap, which would normally they drink their beer, sling it in hopefully the recycling. But if you say, hold on a sec, give that to me, I'll make a little fire. You whip down the co-op, buy a tin of hot dogs, and then you can cook hot dogs on your little fire that you've made out of this scrap. It's just a little skill that you can impress people with, which is also very useful in a scenario. And also, I mean, like you've always got the option there, as well as, say, for example, I was talking about whether to buy a gas bottle for a camping stove or a square little tray with barbecue briquettes in it for cook your food in it. They're all what the barbecue ones are like one time. They last half an hour, 45 minutes or so, and then they're done. You're finished. The cooking stove that will last longer, a little bit more expensive, but it's an ongoing thing. You've got to replenish the with the penny stove. If you make enough of them, if you was to make 50 of them, put them in a box, stick them in the corner. Say, if you got 50 of them, say you got 60 of them. Okay. If you're using it 2 a day, assuming you get one use, okay, you might get a couple of uses at most before it thing melts down. I don't know, but I'll have to. For the sake of argument, you get one use out of it. That's one a day. One use. That's two. You use 2 a day. That's 1 month's supply. If you just sit there one afternoon, get the kids involved, get the wife to earn her keep. Make a few of them. Make a few, sling them in the cupboard, put them in a big bag in the corner, and then get 60 of them. You've got a month's worth of supply there for when it hits the fan. All you got to do then is stock up on the fuel that you use. I mean, from what I remember, I mean, you don't use lighter fluid. I mean, I think you can use cooking oil. You can either, you can use cooking oil, I believe, but I'll have to. Again, you'll know more about this, but I'll look into it. You can even, I actually watched them do this. You can use a citrus, say a lemon or an orange. If you cut it right and peel it, you know when you got like say you cut it round the center, like say for want of a better word, the equator equivalent of a line around the middle. You've got a bowl. You've got that little wick sticking up. You can use that as a, I think you put cooking oil in that. You can use that as a candle. You should look into that. Anybody, an orange candle or citrus candle or homemade citrus candle or something wording like that. You use half the orange peel. Yeah, just put a bit of liquid in there, some cooking oil. Use it as a candle. Emergency. It doesn't cost you fuck all either. You don't have to go to the shop and buy. I mean, you can buy them cheap. 10 tiny candles. Those penny shaped candles for a quid down a Poundland or something. But if you don't want to spend a pound, if you want to save yourself a pound and put it towards a tub of laundry powder for your emergency stash, that's money better spent. And have candles. Oh, actually, it's 7. I'm getting a bit beyond myself here, but the thing is, you couldn't really store these oranges. I mean, they don't store, and you couldn't keep the peel and store it forever. But it's an option, I mean, if you kept the candles in storage and had a few oranges on the side, and just anyway, but you can make a candle out of an orange peel. Yeah. Let's see, Pablo Mancini. I've seen people make a tandoor over from terracotta. Okay, I've seen people make. I'm not sure what a tandoor is. Over from a terracotta pot. Are you talking about making a little fire out of a terracotta pot? Because that would probably work. I mean, you get those thick clay pots. Not like the plastic ones; they're fucking useless. But the thick clay ones, pubs use them. What they do? They have the saucer on the tables outside. They have a saucer, and they have a terracotta pot upside down with a hole in the top where people put in their cigarette butts. That way, it doesn't do that. Right. If there's any. Hello. Yes. Hold on a sec. The energy. Yeah, I think. Yeah. Oh, say it again.
Do you pay by direct debit? Right, like top up meter, is it?
Yeah, that's it. I'll go down the shop and get money put on the little card.
Right, unfortunately, we don't support prepay, so I'll let you go, Matt. Have a good day, mate.
Oh, okay. Righto. Thanks a lot. Yeah, that was somebody ringing up about the am I the electric payer or things. It turns out if you have an electric meter, they're not interested. So yeah, I hope you could hear that. That was a little an extra bonus for viewers who have stuck around. Get some random guy ringing up. Yeah, Pablo. Oh, I go. Oh, there you go. I was about to say, could you elaborate, Pablo? And he has, just as I said that. Pablo says, yes, clay pots. The Indians use them for naan breads and chicken tikka. Right. I think I'm with you. When you say when you said Indians, I'm thinking teepee Indians. No, you're talking about like the Stanis. Yeah, I know what you mean. They have a big oven and they get the naan bread and they slap it on the inside of the oven. Yeah, actually, that'd be interesting. Actually, having that one because if you get a garden big enough and you could build one of those, man, that'd be great. You could do all your cooking in there. Just get some old, get some wooden stuff. Cook it in your garden. You could put a casserole in there. Put a big roast in there. I would imagine. But yeah, I mean, it's probably not made for that, I suppose. The sticking a roast in there, but you got to improvise sometimes. Yeah, that sounds like pretty good. I wonder if you can make. I mean, you could probably make small ones. I would imagine ones that are portable. I would think. But who knows? But yeah, interesting. But yeah, I mean, there's so many ways this is the beauty of having YouTube, like with Batesy Boyo over there saying about the penny stove, and the stove that I knew about with the rocket stove, and Pablo here with the what's it called, the I've lost it now. Terracotta pot. There's so many different ways that you can cook. So in an emergency, if you're limited, a lot of people don't know shit. So when it happens, they're used to cooking on the oven. You see, the thing is, I was speaking to somebody the other day because we used to have gas when we was a kid, right? We have a gas cooker, and the thing is, if when you've got gas, when you've got electric, you just turn it on and off you go. But when you've got gas, you need a flame. You need a source of fire. You need a source of fire to make fire, right? You've got your gas oven, you've got your gas hob. If you don't have a match, or if you don't have a cigarette lighter to make a flame, you're unable to light your gas cooker. Some cookers have that little button, click, 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 and it sparks. So great. If you got that, then that's brilliant. Until that fucked up, So the ability to, you should have, because I mean, imagine if like now, got a really bad situation going. Talk about bad situation. My connection is unstable again. It'll come back in a moment. Connection is unstable. Please wait while we try to reconnect. There you go. If you're in a shit hits the fan scenario and all you've got in the house is a gas cooker, and and say all your matches are wet, your cigarette lighters are gone, that there's been a mad rush at the shops for all the cigarette lighters and shop matches. How the fuck are you gonna? I mean, basically, the ability to all you need is a spark, but the ability to make a spark. You try finding something in your house to make a spark. I found it up in my loft. I've actually got one of those lighter sticks I actually bought because for such an occasion. It's one of those little sticks. It's got a graphite thing, and it's got a little tab on it, and scrape, and all the sparks come off. That will light your gas cooker. An investment of like £7-8. You don't have to buy a box of matches again in your life. This thing will last almost forever. I mean, it's not invincible, but something as simple as that. People might think, oh yeah, I've got a lighter, but how long does a lighter run? I haven't smoked for a long time, but I know that lighters do last a long time. But all you got to do is sit on it, damage it, drop it on the floor, roll your bike over it, stand on it, and it's fucked. Or if it develops a leak, you don't have the ability to refill it, you're fucked again. So having the ability to make fires from different things or in different ways, you can use a battery. If you take a battery out of your torch and some of that wire wool, like a Brillo pad, put the two together, start rubbing it together, you can make sparks. You can light a fire with that. It's not everybody knows that, but it's one of those things. In fact, that would be Well, I asked for an example of something you could make out of your house to make it. Well, that would be it. Brillo pad and a battery, put them together. Of course, the battery's fucked afterwards. You can't use it anymore, but at least you get you out of a jam. If you need a fire to keep the lions away, then you need a fire no matter what the cost. Or if you need a fire to, imagine if a scenario happened in the middle of winter, right? The electricity goes. Electricity goes. You don't got any lights. You don't have any heating. You can't run the electric cooker. All you've got is a log fire in the garden. How are you going to light it? All the matches the matches went in a flood, and I don't know. But you can light a fire. Let me see. People make a right. Batesy Boyo, Mark, have you ever thought of growing and harvesting seeds to sell, like on eBay? I'm doing Carolina Reaper peppers at the moment. In fact, if you want to laugh, type in Mark's Remarks Carolina Reaper. You'll see me eating some peppers, some cheesy peppers. Just on the subject there, but yeah, no, I tell you, and also you see again, you're onto something there, Basie Boyo. Aside from the fact that you're able to regrow stuff, I mean, you're growing peppers, but you can do the same thing with apples. You save the seeds from apples, save the seeds from strawberries, save the seeds from actually, I mean, I did a popcorn the other day. I've actually got 6 popcorn kernels on the windowsill. I'm going to see if they'll grow. I've got me in a little pot of water. I'm seeing if they'll grow. You've got the ability to regrow, and also aside from the ability to, if you do this with other vegetables, to grow your own food, seeds are what's the trade. You can trade with them. Aside from the sachets of sugar, sachets of coffee, jars of homemade honey, bars of soap. Vegetable seeds can be traded because anybody who knows the value of the seeds, say you're going in for the long haul, say this fucking epidemic, they're talking about it lasting 6 months before it'll what if it lasts even a fucking 6 months is going to be bad, but imagine, oh shit, connection's unstable again. I'll wait for a second. There you go, it's back on now. But yeah, I mean, 6 months is going to be bad enough. It'll be worth their weight in gold because, I mean, without trying to sound too melodramatic there, if this then goes on for a year or two, or, how well are the shops going to be stocked? With people dying off left and right. One, there's going to be fewer people growing food. 2, there's going to be fewer people picking the food, the vegetables from the fields, right? 3, there's going to be less people delivering the food. 4, there's going to be less shops stocking the food. And 5, there's going to be more people fighting over what fucking vegetables there is available. So you're fucked 5 ways if it goes on for the long haul into years. So what you're doing there with your peppers, it would be perfectly a good idea to start saving seeds from your I mean, look at how many vegetables you can, and you can trade with it. You can grow your own food and you can trade for other stuff. Look at foods that you can actually who the fuck? Right, hello. No, they're gone. Shit. I was going to let you hear that, whatever that conversation was. Yeah, I mean, well, you saw what I was doing. All the time I'm regrowing potatoes. You get a potato out of a bag, leave it in a cupboard, it'll start to sprout, put it in a pot, cover it with dirt, it sprouts some more through the dirt, sticking out of the dirt, you pour more dirt on it, you let it grow, more dirt, it starts to, from one potato, you can get 12 new ones growing in the pot. If you want to see an example of that, write down homegrown veg. I'm not sure if it's one word, but either way, try that. You'll see some old guy. He's got a dog called Molly, a black and white dog called Molly. He's always on camera. And when you find his channel, type in potatoes in a bag. Okay, or potatoes in a pot, potatoes in a bag. Write these words down, and he'll show you how to grow potatoes in a plant pot, in a plastic bag, in a pot. You can get so much yield out of a small footprint of area. I've done that with potatoes. I've grown onions on my windowsill. I've grown actually, well, when I had chickens, I regrew a lettuce. When the chickens have finished eating all the lettuce, where the stalk bit goes in the ground. You got the stalk and you've got that much left. You cut it off there. Put that in some water, it'll start to sprout again. It's amazing. So yeah, so all these seeds, apple seeds. I've actually done it. Years ago, I bought. I could do it again, actually, just for shits and giggles. I actually bought an apple from a co-op years ago, and I grew It grew to about that big, but then I moved house and it just died, and but it sprouted and grew. I've done it with an acorn. Yeah, I've actually sprouted an acorn. I got from the woods. I was up there or something, and it sprouted in the garden. It can be done. Yeah, all these things, and all these kind of things are worth their barter material. Man, Jack McGreedy uses a lighter to get a light to get my gas on. I use a toaster to get a light to get my gas on. Yeah, well, there you go. Actually, that's the thing. Using an electrical item to power a gas item. That's a yeah, but yeah, in an emergency. But yeah, you can use that. That's all good until the electric goes. Because if the electric goes, at least you can still heat the house with a gas cooker, and at least you can eat. But if the electric goes, then you can't even light that. But yeah, interesting though. Mind you, I mean, if you really put your mind to it, I suppose there are a few other ways you could use the wife's hair curlers. I mean, I'm sure that would spark a bit of paper, or I mean, in an emergency, when you're a kid and you've got a magnifying glass on a sunny day, you're depending on a sunny day, but you can use a magnifying glass to light a bit of paper to start a fire. Let's see. Oh, blimey. Toaster. Batesy Boyo. Am I pronouncing that right? Batesy Boyo? Postage and packing always kills me on eBay. Yeah, but seeds you can just pop to me on eBay. But seeds you can pop a stamp on an envelope, actually, and send. And yeah, free seeds with a bit of effort. Yeah, I mean, what you do, you grow some tomatoes, you harvest the seeds. You grow something, you harvest the seed. You grow one of those pumpkins, you harvest the seeds. I've seen pumpkins on YouTube. They sell, if they get a prize-winning pumpkin, people who grow them for competition, they sell the fucking seeds. Because they've come from a prime pumpkin. But what I was laughing about your comment there, postage and package kills me. Put a stamp on the envelope. If you wanted to be real cheap, just put a sticker on the packet of seeds with a stamp. You don't have to put it in an envelope; it'll just get delivered anyway. So it's got a stamp and an address. save you a couple of pence on an envelope. But that's just tight wad. But yeah, they'll do it. And in fact, you could, if you was to buy, mind you, no, I actually haven't said that. If you was to buy them from eBay, you'd probably be buying multiple packs, so you'd have to go in an envelope. But if you were buying one pack, say to them, listen, do you want to cut a few pence off the postage and packing? Just put a stamp on it, no envelope. It's just, but yeah, multiple packs you'd have to. Anyway, I also isolate my peppers to make sure genetics are pure and they haven't crossed with any others. Indeed. Yep, it's a good way of keeping the gene pool straight there. But yeah, make a habit perhaps of saving. Well, I mean, look at the situation now. Okay, what I tell people, look at now. What if you were prepared a year ago? What if you had a stash of seeds? You've been saving all your tomato seeds, saving all your apple seeds, saving all your carrot seeds. If you had them now, and then as soon as the shit hits the fan, bang, straight in the dirt, start growing. And the other thing with saving seeds is don't. But the thing that I've learned on from somebody on YouTube, don't have all your say tomato seeds. Don't have hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them in a jar, all in one jar, because if there's one seed that has gone moldy, it's all fucked up, it's got a germ on it, and it's going to affect the other 200 seeds in the jar. What you do is you have them 30, 40, 50 seeds I mean, you get 50 seeds out of a fucking tomato anyway, right? So 50 seeds in a little paper envelope, 50 seeds in a separate paper envelope. Don't put them in the same one. So, because if one's fucked, they're all going to be fucked. But if you have them in separate little envelopes, 50 in a bag, then if one's manky, it only affects the other 50. It doesn't affect the other 12 bags of tomato seeds that you have. So there's one little. And perhaps you could do that with your peppers. If you're storing peppers for regrowing or trading at some point or selling or whatever else, same principle. Don't store 500 of them in a bag, because if one's fucked, they're all fucked. Same thing. Jack McCready, kidding, Mark, but I see where you're coming from. But I have done that before. But I have done that before. Are you talking about not using envelope, just putting a stamp on the item? Is that what you mean? Because I mean, it makes. I mean, I don't buy envelopes anymore. When you get an envelope come through the bank and there has a prepaid envelope on it, well, I just put a sticker over the top, write a new address, stamp, away you go. Screw buying envelopes. Or, I mean, if anybody's interested, look at my Mark's Remarks money saving tips. I've done about a dozen of them, all kinds of good ideas, and one of them is how to make tips. So, have a gander. There's about 12 of them or so. Yeah, was it money saving tips #1, then #2. The hash is for number. So #1, #2, #3. Or it might be in my playlist. I don't know. I'll look at my playlist. It might be there. If not, Mark's Remarks money saving tips. Where are we at now? Oh, Batesy Boyo. Yeah, Batesy Boyo, you said it right. Game name, but had it since PlayStation 2. Oh, it's a game name, but had it since PlayStation 2. Batesy Boyo. I don't know. Yeah, I'm not familiar with the Batesy Boyo. I've got a PlayStation. Actually, I've got a PlayStation 2, which I swapped to play a specific game, and I've got a PlayStation 3, which I have to swap over when I want to watch a DVD. Oh, it's a pain, Yeah, Batesy Boyo, a good tip. All saves the dollars. That's it. Because, I mean, people may mock, which they've done on my money saving tips videos, but if you save a couple of pence on everything you do, like for example, using a cereal box, cut out a postcard out of a cereal box to make a postcard, it saves buying them. Reuse an envelope, it saves buying them. Whenever you get a sliver of soap, jam it. I've done this on the thing. Jam it onto the new bar of soap. Wet both of them. Get them all. Get the old little sliver, the new one. Jam them together. You do that. I mean, because you figure. Although you look at all those little slivers, when you come to the last little dregs of the bar of soap, how many of those would it take if you were to melt it down, if you could melt it down or turn all those bits into a new bar? 12, 15, so every 15 bars that you whittle down to a little scrap equals one free one. That's there's 30p you've saved right there. You buy 3 of them for £1, 3 bars of soap in £1 for £1 land. 1 bar is 33p. So by jamming all those bits together, every 15 bars you use, you've saved 33 pence by having a free bar. Times that with the postcards, times that with the letters, times that with one of my one of my money saving tips was, if you're a member of the gymnasium, go in there with it's difficult with a shampoo bottle because the tops don't come off, right? But what you can do is get an Oasis bottle. Okay, you go in there with an empty Oasis bottle into the shower, stand there for 10 minutes, plunging the button, filling up the shower gel into the bottle. Do it up, take it home. There you go. So you might be the only person in the house that goes to the gym, but everybody in the house is using soap and shower gel. So by the bottle, I've actually done this. You using up the filling up the bottle with shower gel, you're providing free. That's shower gel you don't have to buy. So there's a pound or two right there. By having free shower gel, that's a pound or two in your pocket. You know. Anyway, so yeah, I mean, you add up all these little things together. They add up. People mock me sometimes for my thrifty ways, but when you add these things up, when you're down to the anyway, I don't want to tell you all of them, but I mean, there's one with a ketchup bottle, how to get the most out of your ketchup bottle. Just Marks and Mark's money saving tips. There's some good ones in there. I don't want to sort of give them all away. You have to watch them. I've just made some pasta. Oh, interesting. There you go. Pablo Mancini says he's just made some pasta, then mixed it with a tin of chicken soup. Spot on isolation meal. I've never heard that before. That's interesting. Because when you think about it, chicken soup is just a thick sauce. I mean, if you have mushroom sauce or pasta bolognese sauce, what is it? It's just tomatoes with water. Tomato paste, mixed up with water, a bit of herbs. The chicken, you've got a paste or a sauce made up with chicken, possibly a few veg. Boil it until it's sort of thick, perhaps. It's the same thing, It's interesting. I mean, I'd trying to think. I mean, I'm sure. I mean, the thing is, the way I see most of the dishes, people say, "Oh, I would never have thought of." People said to me, "I never would have thought about putting that with that." But I say to them, "Do you like this item? Do you like this item? And do you like this? Yeah, why not put them in the same dish? You know, fish fingers in a chicken stir in a chicken fish fingers in a rice stir fry. Not many, you wouldn't think about it normally, but if you like two items, put them together." Oh, I put them in Mylar sealed bags with 15 or 20 seeds and put them in the fridge to slow their metabolism. That's what I did with the acorn one before I planted it in the garden. It really works. You're simulating a frost and then the sunny season. Slows their metabolism, trying to mimic winter. Oh, there you go. Try to mimic. I was jumping in there by saying what before I read it. Trying to mimic winter when seeds would be in ground waiting for spring. There you go. That's what I jumped in and said before I read it. Exactly. You put them in the fridge, it makes the seeds think, "Oh shit, winter's here. I'll just hunker down." And then when you take them out of the fridge, put them in the pot in the garden, in the sunny weather, like it's sort of similar now. It thinks, right, time to grow. There you go. Because in a way, I mean, you're helping it really, because when it's when it's in hibernation state, it's hibernating. But when the sun comes out and the warm weather, it's thinking, right, I've got to do this right fast. I've got to get going. I've got to get my roots into the ground. I've got to start getting as high as I can, nearer the sun. So you're encouraging it to grow at a fast rate, because the plant knows. The plant knows he's got a limited amount of time to get as much. 20 seeds in a batch, perfect. Just like I said before, all you want is one dodgy. Oh fuck! All you want is one dodgy seed, and that's the whole thing fucked up. You don't want that. But yeah, I mean, you can buy things from the co-op. You don't even have to buy seeds. If you want to start, buy something from the supermarket. A pumpkin at Halloween. If you have a garden, or an allotment, say for example, you buy one pumpkin. Fuckers cost like £4 now, £4 or £5, and they're only small, about the size of a football. Buy one of those, hollow it out, do your thing, cut all the shapes in there, salvage all the seeds, if you've got a mind to and you've got some space in the garden, you can use those. Say you get 20 seeds out of the pumpkin, grow 20 pumpkins in your garden, ready for next Halloween, and then you're the one making the £4. Put an ad in the window, put a sign on your front lawn, pumpkins for sale, £1 cheaper than the shops, that'll make it £3. You got 20 pumpkins at £3. Bob's your uncle. There's 60 quid. There's your electric paid for the month, you know, or 60 quid. There's a new, I don't know, you can fucking work it out, you know. Metabolism, Pablo Mancini, some PS2 games work in a PS3. Interesting. Yeah, because I've got a few that I've tried and they haven't, but I would imagine some might. Batesy Boyo, get a talk key. Free toilet paper for life. I have one for work. Most dispensers are talk brand. Are you talking about the bog roll holders when you go to say? So you're talking about the key that opens it so you can replen the roll? Is that what a talk key is? That's not a bad idea, actually. Yeah, what you do if you've got one of those keys, right? What you do, what you do, being the scumbag I am, what I would do, I'd go in there, open it up, and I would take out the full roll and replace it with a very close to being used up roll. Put that back in. So then I whip the full one away. By the time that one's whittled down to like half an inch from being finished, go in there. Anyway, I think you see where I'm going with that. But that's just because I'm a scumbag, you know. But yeah, that'll save you some money. Let me tell you. Pablo Mancini, you should try it, Mark. I was talking about the PS2. Yeah, yeah. Well, yeah. I'll try some PS2 in a 3. And or 3 in a 2. Was it PS2 games in a 3? Yeah, I might have been trying a PS3 in a 2. I don't know, one of the two. See, Batesy Boy just saying. Yeah. Oh, yeah, Batesy Boy. You mean my plan about swapping the? You know, yeah. Yeah, what you do? Yeah, that's everlasting bog roll. Just go in there with what you need, half an inch left. Just swap them over. Sims Insider, Mark, will we ever get a house tour? Well, the thing is, no. I mean, probably not. I mean, there will be certain. I mean, I film in the kitchen. That's one area. I'll be filming the storage area once once the country gets back to normality. I'll be filming in there. I won't be doing a walk through the house and but yeah, I mean, I'll film if I need a scene like that new freezer, or the new freezer. I bought a freezer last month, and there's been a couple of vids where I've gone in and opened it up, had a look. Right, pull this out, and then next thing I'm in the kitchen cooking it up. You know, just a bit of an extra scene for the video. You know, I'll do things like that, but no, just not a walk around the house. But I'll film individual scenes in a individual room. I can do that. Also from Sims Insider. Also, how do we send stuff to you? Well, the thing is, I mean, that'd be difficult. Yeah, I mean, I did have a PO box a while back. I've had a couple of PO boxes, and the first one was real popular. It was great. It was new. People were very nice in sending me stuff and t-shirts, and I still wear the t-shirts. It just happens when I wear them. It just happens to be when I'm not on camera. That's the trouble. But I'll try and make an effort of being on camera with them. Yeah, there's sending gifts, sending vouchers for supermarkets. I've had that. People send a voucher to go to the supermarket and buy something to cook, bring it back and cook it. done that. So, but you know, but mainly, I mean, that was nice. That was very generous of people. But when I had the PO box, mainly it was for fan mail, right? Because what I was saying to people was, follow my example with the envelopes, cards. Whereas I used to make postcards from cereal boxes, or you know, we get say a 4 pack of apple pies, Mr. Kipling apple pies. You know, the front cover can be made into a postcard, or you know, a pack of you know, cardboard sleeve on a pack of bacon or whatever. Lots of people, what they've done, they use those packaging, you know, from a pizza box or a packet of bacon, you know, use those. They turned it over, so you got a picture on the side. They would write the message with a stamp, send them in, and that was great. You know, it was quite popular for a while. I'd use the stamps to put in an envelope down here for the dog charity, to buy somebody one of those epileptic dogs, you know, that kind of thing. But the thing is, the last one was very, very quiet. It's very, people, I guess, lost interest, and the amount of money it costs to have a PO box, they're not cheap. And so looking at that against what, you know, I mean, it wasn't so much to get, I mean, the gifts were very nice, but that wasn't why I did it. They were just a bonus. It was mainly for fan mail, to get people, to show people as well that you can use any old bit of garbage out of the bin and make a, you know, and the novelty of being able to do that, you know, people liked it, I guess, using a pizza box or something, and making a postcard, knowing that the postman's going to be going, fuck me, you know, but they have to deliver it, you know. But the novelty wore off, and what with the expense of it, I actually did go to one of the local corner shops, um, and I said to them, you know, oh, the connection's gone. The connection will be back in a moment. It'll probably. I'm thinking this lot will skip while that's your connection is unstable. So I'm talking away, but I don't think this will be, because I've noticed on the last. Yeah, there you go. It's back now. I went into the shop and I said, look, you're open pretty much day and night, right? Would you like to do me a favor? You'd earn yourself some money. Would you be willing to have a carrier bag or a small box in the corner behind the till? So when the mail comes in the morning, you see marks and marks, marks and marks, marks and marks. You put me in the box. I'll come in every other day. Is there any mail? Great. I'll take that, and I'll give you, you know, I don't know, 10, say, because I mean, renting it one from a proper place is like found in his pocket. They weren't fucking interested. They're like, no, we don't do that. And I said, well, I know you don't do that. You're a convenience store, but I'm asking you if you do this for Insider, you won't be able to send any stuff because I don't have a PO box to send them to. But you know, keep watching the channel. If I do get one, then I'll publicize the hell out of it, and hopefully it'll be more popular than it was the last time. You know. Because but yeah, I mean, for every card that came through saying, Mark, can you get, you know, everybody got a shout out. Everybody that sent a card, I'd show the card on camera, give them a shout out, read out their message. They got the thing, and the stamp went into charity. Ah, bloody hell. Oh lordy. I've lost it now. Good. There you go. Batesy Boyo has donated £5. Thank you very much, Batesy Boyo. That's very generous. I think it's to do with that live stream. Is that live chat option? Very good. Thank you. It's got a message. Just something to put back into the channel, Mark. Mark's Remarks has really been a boost to me on lockdown. Thumbs up. Emoji. Oh, well, glad I could, keep everybody happy. You know, it's no, I tell you. Well, thank you. It's my pleasure to be of assistance to all the viewers, and thank you very much for that very kind donation there. That's very, yeah. Yeah, it's always a little bit of a boost. I mean, it's nice when those things come in. Yeah, it's just a little bit of a, you know, make you feel a bit appreciated. But if anybody wants to I'm not plugging that, by the way. Anybody wants to help in that regard, you can do that with very minimal effort. If anybody wants to just allow the adverts to play, that would, that's also very nice, and that's something that anybody can do without even any effort. But that's very nice. Thank you. That's Batesy Bordeaux. Big thumbs up to you. Oh man, this Ribena weak as hell. Oh boy. In fact, can anybody write in there and tell me how many thumbs down I've got? I'm just curious. For some reason, my do a 12-minute cookery video, but 2 minutes after it's been loaded, I'll get a thumbs down. It's crazy. So, but yeah, I've got 8 people watching. I've got. In fact, if anybody's not thrown in a comment or question or a suggestion or wanting a shout out, I've lost one. I've got 7 now. Anybody who hasn't done it so far wants to do that, right in there. You get a quick shout out for those 7 people who are watching. I've got 6 thumbs up. If anybody wants to write and tell me how many thumbs down I got, that'd be great. I'm just curious. I'll find out eventually when I load this, because this is live, but shortly after it'll be loaded, and I'll see. It's amazing about the subs, because even though now I'm looking at 7, I've had up to sort of, I don't know, 20 or 30 on a good day, but that's way back. Say for example, at the moment I've done 2.25 hours. I've been sitting here yapping. When I log off this live stream, it actually tells me some figures. It tells me what the average viewing of the viewers was. People are coming in and out, but the average view duration, 10.4 minutes, for example. It'll tell me how many new subscribers since the live stream started, how many new subscribers have jumped on board. It'll tell me how many minutes I was live, in this case at the moment 2.25 hours, but it'll also tell me how much viewing time I've accrued. So in 2.25 hours of live stream, if I was to quit now, it could say anything up to 15 hours of viewing time. So everybody who's watching for 15 minutes and then going away, and then somebody else will come in, watch for 7 minutes, go away, come back and watch for an hour, then they'll go. All these little increments, they add up, and they can. Yeah, it's amazing. I've been on a. I've been on a 2 or 3 hour live stream in the past. As soon as I'm finished, the information comes up, and it's been like 24 hours worth of viewing time. Done a 2-hour live stream, but accumulated 24 hours worth. It's amazing. All these little fractions of time, they add up. See, I'm looking at, just under a dozen people watching, but when you amalgamate the whole lot. So anybody else want to shout out? Because I've done my whinging about American supermarkets not giving staff a decent shake, firing them. I've done a load of questions. Hello, long time no here. A long time no see. Ian Mills is in the house. Hey Mark, right, hold on. I'm having my eyes are going a bit. I wear glasses except when I'm in the house, Hey Mark, notice you're having trouble with your connection. Yes, might be worth, after this live stream, unplugging your internet hub, brackets internet box, end brackets, for a few minutes, and then replug it back in. Might help. Well, actually, yeah. What I do now and again, when the computer goes quite slow, when I'm on YouTube and it takes like 4 seconds to fucking load some, a video. What I do, I shut it down, turn off that little black box on the floor, and then wait, count to 20, turn it back on, reboot the computer, and it's usually okay. But honestly, well, the thing is, somebody suggested the other day that I adjust the quality of the live stream, the pixel quality, I guess, or something. But I can't see how. I tried to do that before I went on live two and a bit hours ago. I can't figure out how to do it. But yeah, I mean, every now and again, the thing is, I keep my computer on all the time, which I suppose I shouldn't do. I can't be fucking bothered to reboot it every bloody day. So, but every few weeks, every month, I just shut it all down and restart it up again. Anyway, Ian, by the way, actually, well, I know Ian. Ian's been helping me with the computer in the past. Any luck with that battery? I was having trouble with my camcorder battery. It seems fairly all right now. Sometimes I have to warm it up. I have to put it in my pocket for a little bit, but I've noticed it's okay now to most extent. Pablo Mancini, unplug the phone line too and switch off the router. Right. Oh, yeah, that might be what Ian Mills was saying, Pablo. Maybe I've unplugged. I've turned off the router, but it's still been plugged in the wall, and it's also plugged in at the phone is plugged in, but also the power is plugged in. Right. I think what you're saying is to unplug it from the wall, the power, and also the phone, and turn off the router. Yeah, I'll do that when I'm done. I'll do that as well. See if that's see if that works any better. Okay. Anyhow, Ian Mills is having a think about his reply. Anyway, yeah. If you know anything, Ian, let me know and unplug the line. The Sims Insider. Could you use your neighbour's address? That shop guy sounds a fool for turning down the offer. I know. I couldn't believe it. I thought he was going. I fucking would. When I had my video shop, if some guy come in and says, "Listen, I've got a YouTube channel. I don't want the psychos coming around my house. Could I use your shop address to deliver maybe a few parcels, a few envelopes, and I'll give you a tenner every month." Fine, absolutely, but no, they wouldn't go for it. It's yeah. Anyway, could I use my neighbour's address? I suppose. I don't really. I mean, the thing is, yeah, I don't really know them. Well, yeah, I've said hello a couple of times. We've never really sort of chatted as such. I mean, if I was to be really blunt, they seem like the quality of human that I wouldn't normally associate and go out of my way to befriend. But interesting though. I suppose neighbour's address. Batesy boy, I changed my Wi-Fi password when mine was slow. Keeps jumping. Was convinced somebody was using default password. Interesting. Tony Barnes keeps jumping. Have you got any videos on how KFC style fried chicken? No, I haven't. I do lots of cookery with chicken, but what I have done is last year I bought a box of Kentucky Fried Chicken, ate most of it. The next morning I scraped all the chicken off the bone, had a big mound of it, and then made a curry. If you type in Mark's Remarks KFC curry, Kentucky Fried Chicken curry. I don't know, but it's curry. Write that down. Anybody who's interested. It was curry made with last night's Kentucky Fried Chicken. That's the most the nearest I've come to with cooking with Kentucky Fried Chicken. Also, having said that, I did make. Remember when Kentucky Fried Chicken brought out that burger? There was no bun. It was 2 bits of chicken breast, right? And it had bacon and cheese and barbecue sauce in the middle. So basically, the bun was made up of 2 bits of chicken. People were losing their fucking minds over that. I bought one to, well, actually, funny enough, Ian Mills there. Ian, you were with me, weren't you? It was we went down to Kentucky, or you went down there and he come round. We had one of those. I did a review of it in the kitchen, and then the next day I went out and bought the ingredients and made it myself. You know, it was smaller because the chicken pieces were smaller, but I actually worked it out to the penny. I worked out how much the chicken cost and divided it down by how many pieces were in a bag, the cost of the cheese, the cost of the bacon, and I managed to get three. I made three of my own for the same price as their one because they were charging like a fiver. Anyway, yeah, Ian was there. I don't know what he thought about it, but I wasn't too impressed with it. Any bit right. I've tried it, but didn't. Oh, Tony Barnes has tried making his own Kentucky Fried Chicken. Yeah, there are recipes on YouTube where you can put it tells you exactly how the herbs and spices are mixed together. But yeah, it's kind of like a hit and miss. You need a deep fat fryer, which I don't know if people still have those anymore. Pablo Mancini wouldn't be hard to fing you if you get out of your neighbor's address. Bad idea. Oh, find. Right, but Fing. I think I'll be fined. Pablo Mancini, wouldn't be hard to find you if you gave your neighbors exactly. Yeah. See, that's a problem. I mean, the majority of people will be good. They won't be, But I mean, all it takes is one psycho. I mean, I've dated enough women to know that there are fucking nutters out there. Just what kind of fruitcakes are out there. So yeah, you're right. It would have to be somebody I know further afield, which I've got. I've got a few in mind, but people will be showing up at their door probably thinking it's my house. Let's see. Right, there we go. Ian Mills wasn't able to find a spare. Okay, they don't seem to make that camera anymore. Fuckers. Had no luck on eBay either. They have released new versions of the camera since, so kind of hard to find the old one. Yeah, it's a fucker because I mean the camera's still got some life in it, but like I was saying, I don't know whether it was something I was because because I was using the camera for 10 minutes, putting it on charge, putting it on camera, filming it, putting it on charge, filming, charge, filming, charge, film charge. So it never had a chance, because they say some batteries you need to absolutely drain, absolute dead, because charging an unfucked up, undead battery is apparently counterproductive. That may have been it, because what I'd have to do was I have to keep it warm in my pocket for about 10 minutes and then put it on the camera, and then hopefully it would work. Recently, I don't know whether it's because the temperature has heated up. So now I can put it on the camera and it starts, But then again, a couple of weeks ago, I did have it run down it went down to 1 bar, and then I kept it on for ages until it drained pretty much dead. Yeah, but anyway, thanks for looking though, Ian. It's just I mean, I've looked on eBay and I couldn't find them. They had batteries that were similar, but with different voltage, and the actual battery was a different shape, but for the same model of camcorder. But what I mean, the thing is, I don't know shit, right? This is why I need Ian. I don't know, because Ian was the one. For anybody, I mean, not that anybody gives a shit, but I'm talking to Ian, but whatever. Ian was the one who helped me get this camera in the first place. He's what he found out the camera, because what I needed was one with a pause button, and he was great. He went out and found the perfect model for my needs. It's so simple to use because I'm a fucking moron when it comes to electrical stuff. Once I learn something, then that's it. It's in there and I've done it. Because the loading video, I've done 930 videos so far. It's great, but I need to do it 12 times. If I was to change this camera today, it would take me about half a dozen, 10 times before I could do it in my sleep, before I knew exactly what I'm doing. And like this one, I had to make notes where he was writing every little step out, and I had to make notes. So eventually, Ian, I may need to get a new camera. I mean, how long have I had that one? About a year. I had the old one for ages that would just, all it was doing was constantly filming. I couldn't stop it, couldn't start it, couldn't do anything. That's why a lot of my videos were like 20 minutes, because I had to prepare everything, turn the camera on, and then cook it from start to finish with no pausing. This one was great, but yeah, eventually, I've only had this one a year. Shouldn't be fucked out already. But eventually, I'll need to, trade up. I guess 2 years. Is that how long I've had it? Mind you, I've had the channel for about over 2.5. Yeah, so it must be 2 years. Fucking hell. Oh, mind you, the thing is, I'm using it every single day, which is probably not what these things were designed for. I mean, I would imagine they use them, design them to hold out, but I'm using it every day, sometimes 2 a day, most days, every day. Oh, channel is like, actually, yeah, it was the 15th of July 2017. So July 2018, July 2019, July 2020. Fucking hell. So in 4 months, it'll be 3 years. Bloody hell, 3 months. It'll be 3 years old. I'll have to think of something special to do. Yeah, but yeah, it's a shame. It's a shame you can't come around and maybe do some filming or do some whatever. But yeah, under lockdown, I haven't it's a shame. But we'll have to get you around again, Ian. When all this blows over, what we do, I'll make some dinner, and if you want to be on film, or yes, that's fine. But yeah, come around. I'll make actually maybe for the 3-year anniversary of the channel, you can come around. I'll make some. Something special with the channel. Just come around, hang out, have a beer or something. If anyway. But yeah, I haven't seen Ian for a while. It's a few months ago up the City Centre. We went up the City Centre and had that beer in that theatre district, I think. Some retailers offer the Royal Mail local collect option. Google it in your area. Local retailers offer the Royal Mail local collection. Actually, I think I see what you mean. Yeah, you get your mail delivered to a certain area, and then you just collect it. Yeah, could do. Thing is, it'll have to be cheap. I mean, the amount of money it costs to the amount of I mean, the thing is, if I was to get hundreds of bits of fan mail, I call it fan mail, but basically it's people writing in saying, look, I like your stuff. Can I get give you a shout out and happy birthday and all that shit. But it was mainly for the stamps for the dog charity. That was mainly why I spent the fucking money. I may as well just have sent them the money instead of the stamps. That would have been better off. But yeah, if I can arrange something, then I'll definitely get a PO box. Thing is, if those stupid fuckers down at the shop had gone for this thing, £10 a month, yeah, have your mail sent here, we'll stick it in the corner, come around, pick it up every other day. I would have kept it going 24 hours, all through the year. Imagine £10 a month, it was 100 and something, 120 a year. It's over half of what the other company were charging. I would have kept it ongoing until nobody sent stuff, and then I would have said, right, give it a break for 6 months. But they would have had ongoing £10 a month. Who doesn't want £10 a month for doing fuck all? Who turns that shit down? At least did, I thought these Indians were supposed to be a bit more savvy than that, Anyway. Let's see, retailers. Right. Okay. Let's see what we're doing. Right. 2.5 hours. Right. Get an itchy nose. Oh, I'll tell you what. Can anybody tell me the rest of that title? The men who stare. All right, I'll hold that there. I'm putting my finger over the title and a picture that would. Oh fuck! Shit, I missed. All right, anybody who didn't see that, can you fill in the blanks of the title? Men, yeah, Pablo. Bates Boyo, yeah. Did you see the goat on there? I didn't even. I was so concentrating on trying to cover that picture and cover the wording here. I didn't even see the goat up there. I thought it'd be a bit interesting to see if anybody can fill in the gap there. Yeah, have you seen the film Men Who Stare at Goats? Let's see, Batesy Boyo and Pablo got it. It's actually based. It's like all Hollywood bullshit. It's based on true events. But there was a thing, and actually in the movie there is a scene at the very end where they're these what they were doing, they were trying new mind melting things. They were locking people in a room with the television going 24 hours a day with the fucking Teletubby music, right? And what it was in the phone, in the program, in the movie, this information came out. It was a way of brains just having listened to Teletubbies music. Actually, I'll read that in a sec. Yeah, and the information got out, and the news channel in the film made light of it. Like, you know what they're doing? They're making people listen to it, because the parents would be thinking, "Yeah, I've listened to Teletubby for 3 minutes. It's driving me mad." And they're making a big funny thing over it, saying, "Oh yeah, well they're trying this thing about making people listen to it 24 hours a day." And that was in the movie. They made light of it as a news thing, a bit of a no big thing. But no, in real life they did it as well. It was actually on the news, I remember. And they actually, in real life, it was on the news, and they made light of it then as well. But yeah, you never guess what they're doing, making people listen to you. And of course, the viewers are thinking, because they're making light of it on the fucking television, people were at home were thinking, "Oh, that must be hell trying to listen." Yeah, because I listened to it for 5 minutes on Saturday morning when the kids are in front of the telly. But no, it was actually a true thing. Batesy Boyo, I've seen it before. That's the only reason. Oh, I see. Yeah, because it is a strange title. The idea for anybody who's not seen it is that the army are going into mind projection warfare. You know how sometimes you'll have a person in a room, they've got a pad of paper, and they're trying to project their mind into the Japanese president to find out what he's thinking and influence his the Ruskies president, prime minister, to influence their thinking, to find out what plans they're making and where, what the nuclear codes are, and basically trying to read people's minds from 6,000 miles away. That's the idea. And one of the ideas was to have people with special cognitive powers who could sit there and they could stare at a goat to make it have a heart attack and fall over dead. That was the plan. And they figured that what they were experimenting was, if they could do that to a goat, I mean, goats cost nothing, right? It's not like, so we'll do that on goats, and then we'll go on to sheep, and then we'll try it out on prisoners, and and then enemy soldiers. The idea was to do this, and if you could do it for a goat, then these people could make enemy soldiers drop dead. That's the idea of making it into a weapon. Anyway, that's the idea of the film. It's got some funny stuff in it, a few funny bits. Pablo Mancini, is any good? Well, yeah, I mean, it's not too bad. I mean, Clooney there, he's convinced that he has these powers. Ewan McGregor, he's a reporter trying to investigate these things. There's the goat. There's Spacey. He's a bit of an unscrupulous army guy. And Jeff Bridges, he's one of those new wave soldiers. He's a soldier high up, sort of fairly, high up on the ladder. But he's one of these, he's allowed to go in one, with long hair and sandals, and everybody's chanting and kumbaya. And his job is to find who's got these supposed mind powers and to cultivate them into, to hone these powers. It's not too bad of a film. Anyway, anybody? Actually, does anybody watching? There's not many people watching. Does any of my viewers have YouTube channels of their own which they would like a plug? If that's I'm always willing to do that. If anybody wants, you can say what it's called, what it's about, and I'll mention it. But if not now, then in the future, or if you know somebody. Oh, actually, and if you know somebody with a YouTube channel, get them to subscribe, and they can write in and say, look, could you give me a shout out? It's kind of stuff on my live. Yeah, and anybody who, I don't know whether it won't be such a great idea now, but if anybody who knows somebody with a company that wants promoting, I'll haul myself out for a free item, I'll whatever it is, if it's local, I'll if it's a chippy, if it's a local chippy, I'll do it for a bag of fish and chips. If it's a pizza place, for a pizza. If you have your own company selling trainers, I'll, whatever you're doing, I'll mention anybody's company if they want shout outs or any kind of promotion. I can do that. I can always put as well as mention it, I can put it in the link at the bottom of in the comments section, www. When they can go to your website, anything you like. If anybody knows anybody, it doesn't have to be trainers or chippies. Could be a flower shop. Yeah, I could. I'll do a shout out for a bag of a box of seeds, flower seeds. I need some flower seeds actually. If I get this allotment, I'm going to be throwing flower seeds all over the allotment, trying to get as many growing. Ready for the bees. Pablo Mancini. Mark, you should watch a guy called Snake Diet. Snake Diet. What does he do? Bushcraft eating or something? Catching your own animals for food and stuff? Snake Diet? Pablo also asked, what's my favorite thriller? You know what? My favorite thriller would be the Michael Douglas and Sean Penn movie, The Game. And I can't think of the name of the other one. It's Anthony Hopkins. He's a rich millionaire. Him and a couple of his mates are in a plane which gets hit by birds, crashes into the big lake. They get out, swim to shore, but they're like, miles and couple of hundred miles away from home. So they have to go across the mountains and survive the wilderness while being tracked by a grizzly bear. And The Edge. So there's my two favorite thrillers. Two very good films. Okay, Snake Diet. Actually, I'll write that down. Diet. Okay. Snake Diet. If I'll try and get around on watching that. I don't really watch. I do watch some YouTube channels, but it's normally the same stuff. But what does he do anyway? Pablo Mancini. Just what do I? If I have a look, I'll find out myself anyway. But all right, okay. Well, look, if like I say, if you know any company businesses who want shout outs for, and I do it cheap. I don't want any, although money's great. Yeah, sure. I mean, who doesn't want money? But I'm doing it for free stuff. That's all Oh, and also, if anybody knows, actually, just thinking about that, if anybody knows somebody who works in a camping shop or a MRE factory, where they meals ready to eat or something like this, or a food company, if there's items that might be, pretty much, I'll test drive any food items, but but in particular, if there's stuff that is suitable for for storage, perhaps. If there's storage as well, that's an extra bonus because people will be wanting. Connection is unstable again, for Christ's sakes. There you go. But yeah, people after this has been going on, people will be wanting the storage. So if anybody's got any storage items that might want to be test driven and test eating and whatnot, or survival stuff, those sparking sticks or stoves or you know what I'm talking about. Anything will do. I'm not. Yeah, I don't know. Try the soup and pasta, perhaps. Thing is, I've got a lot of other stuff that I need to get. A lot of stuff that I need to use up to make videos and stuff. Thing is, I mean, I do get people writing to me, saying, "Look, can you do more sandwich on the George Foreman grill, or can you do this particular sauce?" So, look, the fucking shops are empty. I'm pretty much I'm making videos of the food that I've got and trying to chop and change and make interesting stuff with the stuff. I don't often have the opportunity to go down the shop and pick up a special. If I want to go down and pick up a pepper or pick up a certain brand of marinade sauce, it's not always possible, But I'm just trying to, as well as trying to make what I can with what I've got without going to the shops too often. I'm showing people that if you're, you might be in the same boat where you're unable to get in the shops, or you're making do with what's in the cupboards. I'm trying to show people that you can take these items that wouldn't normally go together and make a perfectly good dinner. So, so it's difficult to make specific requests. People writing with a request is not easy to make. And if I have the ingredients, I can do that. Anyway, right, it's 2 hours 45. I'll call it a day there. Been talking long enough. I did another video today about 11 o'clock this morning. It's on the computer. I'll load it tomorrow morning. So if you've not already, if you haven't subscribed already, by all means hit the subscribe. You'll be alerted to all my new videos and live streams. But also, if you are subscribed, please check the subscribed button. Well, not the subscribe, but the bell icon. If you click onto that, those little options will come up. All or some or there's 3 different options. If you click onto all, that would be great, because then you won't miss out. Because if you don't click all, the computer will only send you, periodically. So yeah, if you hit all, you'll be alerted to it. You don't have to watch everyone. I'm just saying, but at least you'll have the option. If you, when the thumbnail comes up, it says, "Oh, Mark's Remarks put another video up," you can look at it, or at least it'll be your choice to say you watched it. But if you don't click on all, it'll be the computer decides what you get to watch, and they'll be basically telling you yes or no. You can watch this particular video really by doing that. So everybody, click all if you would. Oh, Purple Killer, KILLNH, Killer, Purple Killer. Hi there. Oh, yeah, hello to you. Hello. It's a shame you just joined in, because I'm about to go in 1 minute. You go, Purple Killer. This lockdown is killing me. Feel like a prisoner. Indeed, I know. It's a bastard. Getting a bit stir crazy myself. But you've got the option. I've been churning out the videos quite regular recently, so at least you'll have something to watch. Just watch my last cookery videos. Oh, I did an update on the tomato plants, by the way. That might be of interest to some people. It was about 2 or 3 videos ago. Did an update on that. I've got some little baby plants growing as well, like this, on my windowsill. Oh, you've subscribed. Thank you very much, Purple Killer. Don't forget, I was just mentioning before you showed up, hit the bell and click all. There you go. Then you won't miss a thing. That'd be great. Yeah, it's a shame that you're just showing up now, but you can always watch what you've missed on the rerun. You can watch my videos. Like I say, there'll be another one tomorrow morning at 6 a.m., which is usually when the morning is. They say, yeah, the car drove by at 7 o'clock in the 7 a.m. in the morning. Well, yeah, well, that's what that means. But I just did it myself. Oh Christ, look at this, Ben Varley. I'm just leaving. Yeah, check the bell icon, Ben Varley, but make sure it's not. You might not. I don't know whether you just come in and missed it, but if you click on the bell icon, hit all, you'll be alerted every time you get advanced, notice when I load something, and that way you won't only catch the last minute. All right, but give me another 15 minutes, and this will be loaded. And if anybody's made it right to the end, then please allow the adverts to play. That'll be a big help to the channel. Okay, I'll leave it there, and thank you ever so much for watching, and for those who have stuck around to the end for 3 hours almost of this. It's 2 hours 49:55. There'll be some of it will be shorter than that, actually, because some of it's been missing because of the cable interruptions. But everybody, thank you very much for watching and participating in the live stream chat. And I've clicked the bell, but don't always get notifications. Yeah, I don't know why that is. It is, yeah, my internet's been playing up as well. Signal's been cutting out, but at least you've done it though, and it'll help. Anyway, goodbye to Ben Varley, who's Purple Killer, Pablo Mancini, Becky Boyo, Ian Mills, if he's still here, I don't know. And of course, Batesy Boyo for that generous donation. Very nice indeed. Okay, everybody, thank you very much for watching, and I'll call it a day.